RusAme reader, RusAme, and today I'm going to bring to you the entire binge compilation for One Way Out by Alien Limeade. But before we get into that, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. Now, let's get into the book. Chapter 1, Let's Meet Up. America's point of view. I'm curled up in a ball in my comfy den. Well, I guess it's more our den than my own. Sadly, I have to share it with my one brother, Canada. It's not fair, though. Both of us are adults. We should be able to have our own dens, but no, our father thinks otherwise. I know I'm an adult, so I could technically get my own den if I wanted, but Canada is too much of a wuss to be left alone. He thinks Dad's going to yell at him if he is alone, because it shows we didn't listen to him. Well, yeah, I guess he's right. Dad probably would yell at us, but who cares? He can't punish us anymore. We're not under his rules like we used to be as kittens. I get up and stretch. I look back at Canada and see he's still sleeping peacefully. It's around 10 a.m. He should be up by now, if anything. Whatever. I'm not going to wake him. I'll just go see if anyone else is up. UK's point of view. I leave my den and sit outside in the cold morning. I look over at the two dens at the east side to see my boys sleeping peacefully still. I'd usually wake them up, but I suppose I'll let it slide this time. After all, they did stay up pretty late catching fish in the river for France and I. Then I hear a yawn come from behind, and it seems to become louder, then quiet. Hi, honey, I tell France as she comes to sit by me. Morning, she replies with sleep still in her eyes. Then she rests her head on me. The kid's still asleep? She asks. Yes. And as I reply, I see a head pop out of one of the dens. So much for them still being asleep, I say, and France chuckles at my comment. Then I hear a sound of paw steps coming towards us. America's point of view. I slowly get out of the den and look to see if anyone's awake. As I turn my head, I notice Mom and Dad. Kinda was hoping for one of my brothers to be up, but whatever. I walk over to them. Good morning, dear, France tells me. Morning, and good morning, Dad, I say and look at him. He nods his head in reply. Can we go out to hunt yet? I ask him. I know he likes it when I ask for his permission, because it makes him think he is still in charge. So I can usually get what I want from him. Plus, even if he says no, I'll do it anyway. We can't go yet. Your brothers are still asleep. When they wake up, I suppose we can. Wow, now I have to wait for them to wake up. Who knows when that will even be. I just want to go and do something. So, I guess this leaves me no other choice. I sprint back to my den. I guess I'll go wake everyone up then. But as I sprint over, something pulls me to a stop. A thought. Wait, what if just me and my brothers went hunting like last night? It would be nice not to have UK on my back every damn second and having him tell me what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I can convince him. Well, after I wake up everyone, we'll see. I arrive at the den. Canada! I yell and try to shake him. Wake up! We're going hunting. Huh? I get a small reply from him. Good, he's awake now. Well, sorta-ish. He seems kinda dead right now. He just needs to wake up a bit more. Help me wake up the others, I tell him, and his eyes start to widen a bit. Okay. Don't you think it's a bit early to hunt, though? It's 10 a.m., Nada. It is? I thought it was like 8 or something. It doesn't matter what you thought. Now go wake Ozzy. We both go to New Zealand and Ozzy's den. Yep, they share a den like us. I go and wake up New Zealand, and Canada does the same with Australia. We're ready! I yell back towards my parents' den, and I leap over to my dad. UK's point of view. I noticed that all of my boys were slowly starting to get up and walk towards me. Well, all except one. America had been running his way over to me. He yelled about being ready to go and hunt. I didn't feel like hunting, if I'm being honest. I know it was breakfast time, a bit past, actually, but I don't know. I just felt tired, and France seemed tired too. But it doesn't feel right to make them hunt for us. My thoughts then get interrupted by a voice in the distance. Dad, I need to ask you something. America yelled at me. What is it? And please use your inside voice. I tell him. Well, I guess we do kind of live in a forest, but still. It doesn't mean that he has to yell. Well, I was wondering if maybe only me, Nada, Zeal, and Ozzy could hunt. You and Mom don't have to go. Wow, I felt like you just read my mind. As long as they bring back food, sure, I don't mind. Wait, why do they want to go on their own anyway? Why do you not want us to come? I ask him. Well, I just thought maybe you and Mom would want to sleep in a bit longer. We will bring you guys something to eat too. That's sweet of him to think like that for me and France. I suppose they could go on their own then. I'll make it up to them by going with them for lunch. Well, okay then. Thank you, America. You four may go on your own. Just be careful and be back before lunchtime. Okay. We will be back, I promise, he says, and I watch him as he sprints off to the others. America's point of view. Yes, he won't be on my tail now. Oh, thank God. Now I just gotta get the others. Guys, I yell at them. They all look at me, still a bit sleepy. Well, except Canada. He seems a bit more awake now, so that's good. Dad said we can hunt without him and Mom this morning, so come on, let's meet up at the river, I tell them. Canada seemed a bit sad after hearing me say this. Probably because we're not hunting with Dad. Even though we're adults, he loves to spend as much time with Mom and Dad as possible, like a little kid. I mean, nothing's wrong with that, but God, independence is amazing. He'll realize that soon when they start to get on his nerves. I notice he changes his expression to a bit more of a happy one. Well, okay then. Last one there is a rotten egg, he says as he sprints past me. Yep, still childish as usual, but I don't mind it. Competitive games are fun. I chased after him with Aussie and New Zealand behind. Chapter 2, Childish Ways. America's point of view. I'm running behind Canada through the forest. I'm so close to catching up with him. I feel the wind hit my face as I run. I'm gonna pass him, I can tell. But just with my luck, as I think that, something hits my face. What the? I say and fall back. Canada! I yell, but he doesn't stop and keeps running.
Hello, I am your RusAme reader,
As I start to get back up on all fours,
today I'm
I
going
feel the
to bring
wind
to
hit
you
me
the
again.
entire
This
binge
time
compilation
it's
for
harder and it seems
One Way
closer.
Out by Alien
I look to my
Limeade.
side and
But
see
before we
Ozzy
get into
zooming past
that,
me. Before I
I'd
can
like
say
to
something,
invite you to
New
join the
Zealand leaps
Discord,
over
which is
me to
linked
catch
down
up
in
with
the
them.
description below.
Wow. I could have just
Let's get into the
died
book.
right now, and they didn't stop. Whatever.
Chapter 1.
I look back both ways to make sure there is nothing else coming near me. Seeing that the coast is clear, I am finally able to stand up without being almost knocked over. I look down at Canada's hat that lies in front of me. It's a little raccoon hat. He has had it since he was small. I remember it used to be too big for him, and he couldn't even see. This hat was probably the size of his whole head then. Actually, when I think about it, it honestly was. But even though it was too big, he always wore it because he loved it so much. I don't know what makes that hat so special to him, but whatever. My sunglasses are special to me, so I'm not going to judge. I pick up his hat and continue to run. I'm probably not going to be the first there now, but it's fine. Canada's point of view. I'm going to be first there, I can tell. As I feel something fly past me, no, more like far away from me. I look up and notice that my hat is gone. Oh, great, now I lost my hat. I can't afford to lose it. I love it too much. As I think that, I hear a voice mumble in the distance. I look back to see my brother, America, stumble with my hat in his face. Oops, I feel kind of bad for him. But not bad enough, because I've never beaten him at any games, so this could be my first time. Besides, I'm sure he'll take the hat with him when he gets up. I just need to focus on getting to the river. I can see it from here already. I look back one time and notice that Aussie and New Zealand are catching up to me. I must be a slow runner or something, but whatever. The second I see where the trees part, I know I'm there. Yes, I did it! I finally won a game! Yeah, sure, this game doesn't really have a point, but it feels nice to win something no matter what it is. The second I run through the trees, I turn around and yell I made it to the river. Aussie and New Zealand come up to me. Aussie seems to be out of breath, though. But he'll be fine. I look up and see America running in the distance. Guess you're the rotten egg, huh? I tease him. Yeah, whatever. And here, he says as he tosses my hat back to me. Thanks, I reply, and he nods his head and starts moving towards the river. I decide to follow him, and so does New Zealand and Aussie. America's point of view. Okay, I'm here. Yeah, I wasn't the first, but that's fine, because next time I will be for sure. I won't stop for anything. Canada teases me about being a rotten egg, but I just rub it off and toss him his hat. I walk to the river and notice them fall behind me. All of us know how the drill goes for hunting fish. Each of us will wait in different spots of the river and try to catch something. We're supposed to take it back to our dens to share it with the whole family, but I don't care. And I usually will eat some of what we caught right then and there. Canada will sometimes yell at me. Actually, he always does, about eating the fish before getting back, but I don't listen. Dad doesn't know, so it's all fine and dandy. Time skip of an hour. Okay, it's been about a good hour of us trying to catch some fish, and I think we've done some good work, if you ask me. All four of us have made pretty decent piles of fish, especially Nada and Ozzy. They have always been great at hunting fish in the river. I guess my strength is catching small mice that always come through, and New Zealand is good at catching birds, big and small ones. I think we have enough caught for breakfast, don't you think? New Zealand asks Canada. Yeah, but we'll see. Depends on how much we have while getting back, he states while looking at me. Not my fault. I get hungry, I say, leaving the others to have a small laugh, and I smile. Okay, let's go back now. Dad and Mom will probably be wondering where we are, Canada says. New Zealand nods in agreement and gets his fish ready to go. I notice Canada do the same, so I decide to as well. It was honestly really nice being able to spend some time with just my brothers. It's been a while since I have. As we were about to leave, I heard New Zealand tell Ozzy to stop hunting and gather his fish. I guess he was having too much fun and blocked out our conversation. He gets his fish and happily walks side by side with New Zealand. I usually walked faster than my brothers, so I took the lead like normal. But as we start to walk, I hear Canada call us. Wait, he says, causing all of us to turn around. We notice he dropped his fish and look at him. Let's play one more game. Before we leave, it's been a while since we have come out here just to hang out. I think about it for a moment. He's right, to be honest. We haven't just come out here to hang out in forever, only to hunt. I drop my fish and look at New Zealand. New Zealand seems interested in playing a game by the facial expression he gives to Canada. Ozzy has always loved games, so of course he dropped his fish in a flash and was already smiling. Alright, what game? I ask. How about hide and seek? He sure loves these child's games, alright. But it feels nice to get to act like a kitten sometimes. Yes! I loved that game when we were all so small! Ozzy says in excitement. Sure, New Zealand says with a smile. Sounds great. Who seeks?
Chapter 3, Breaking Wood.
America's point of view. So, who seeks? Asked Canada. I don't want to seek. I want to play. I hear Ozzy say in the distance. Yeah, I feel too lazy to seek, New Zealand says. Wow, what a great reason not to seek, Zeal. Guess that leaves it to you and me, Canada, I say, looking at him, and start to walk towards him. Rock, paper, scissors? He says. I assume he wants us to play that to decide. Seems fair enough. I hear paw steps and look back towards to see Zeal and Ozzy come from behind to sit and watch. Okay, I reply. We do 3 rounds, like the usual. We end up in a tie with 2 rounds. This should be pretty easy to win, because I can tell he's going to pick paper every time he plays. He always picks paper on the last round for some odd reason. Just something I noticed while playing this, and yep, as I expected, I won. Wait, what the hell? He chose rock? In a million years, I would have never guessed that. What is this sudden change? Okay, you seek, he says to me with a smile on his face. I just give him a confused look back. Heck, I'm still confused. He has never chosen rock before on his last roll. Wow, that means I've already lost 2 games today. My luck is just something, isn't it? Fine, I reply and look at all 3 of them. I will give you all 20 seconds to hide. I move a bit closer to the center of our hangout area for a more fair chance. Now, I am not going to lose this game, for a fact. I just can't. I cover my eyes with my paws and start counting. I hear all of their paw steps go in different directions. The second I start. This is going to be fun. Canada's point of view. Wow, he fell for it. I knew always losing at rock, paper, scissors would pay off one day. He thought I would pick paper, I bet. Well, think again. I wanted to laugh when I saw how confused he looked. His face looked so goofy to me. But then he would probably get all salty if I were to laugh, and I just wanted to get straight into the game. Me, New Zealand, and Aussie follow Ame as he walks towards the center. The second he covered his eyes and started to count, I quickly turned around and ran to hide. I'm a great hider, in my opinion, so I bet he won't ever be able to find me. I sprint over to the river and notice the bridge that allows us to cross over. I could walk over it, but I think there could be a better spot. I look down and notice a huge bush next to the bridge on the right. Oh, I could hide here. I leap into the bush and try to make sure that not one part of me is out in the open. Perfect. I can still hear him counting. So I pop my head out of the bush to take a look. From here, I can see New Zealand hiding behind a tree. I think I can see another cat in the distance. They are still moving, like they don't know where to hide. Probably Aussie. I watch his shadow and then disappears behind a tree. You can still see his tail. If he puts his tail down, his hiding spot could be pretty decent because of the bushes that go around the tree. Both of them have pretty good spots, but I think I have the best one. America will never find me. America's point of view. 18, 19, and 20. Ready or not, here I come. I say loud and clearly. Okay, so last I heard, all of them went in different directions. I'll go forward first then. I look through the trees and try to listen to see if I can hear anyone moving. Sadly, I hear nothing. I twitch my ear and keep moving. As I move a bit further, I see a shadow. Bingo! Someone's over there. I can tell. I crouch down and crawl over slowly like I'm hunting. As I get closer, I can make out who it is. New Zealand. He doesn't even seem to be focusing on trying not to get caught. Kinda just staring at the ground. He's probably thinking about something else as he sits there. I move a bit closer and then I pounce on him, causing him to fall over. Gotcha! I say and get off of him. Oh my god, you scared me! Dang it, was I the first one out? He asks. Yep, now come on, I still gotta find the others. I reply and turn around to move in another direction as New Zealand falls behind me. I know for a fact I heard paw steps come in this direction, but still, who knows where they are? It's either Canada or Aussie. As we move towards the trees, I hear paw steps, but they're not walking, they're running. Wait, stop. I tell New Zealand as he comes to my side, and then stops. What? He says. Do you hear that? I ask him. He nods his head in reply. They sound like they're going up? Wait a minute. Are they climbing? I look up and see another shadow. I run closer. It's Aussie, climbing a tree. Aussie, we see you! I yell at him. No, you don't! He replies, wow, okay, sure. That totally made you less obvious. Come on, you got caught, Aussie. Now get down. I hear New Zealand tell him. fine, he says and leaps down. That was pretty easy to spot him, especially since he was running. You could hear him from a mile away. Okay, come on, we still need to find Canada, I say, and turn around to go in the last direction I heard Paul's steps go. I started to walk, but then that turns into running. I don't know why, but I feel eager to find him. Probably because he beat me at the last 2 games. Well, he's for sure not beating me at this. Canada's point of view. I can hear all of them making noise. I guess he found New Zealand and Aussie, making me the only one left. He won't find me. Oh, no, they're walking towards the bridge. Well, Aussie and New Zealand are. America is running. Oh, God, why did I think that? Now I'm gonna be found. Dang it! Soon, all 3 of them are around the bush. They seem to be saying something, but I can't make out what it is from here. Then I hear them walk away from the bush and past the bridge. Yes, they passed me. But they might come back to this spot, and I can't risk getting caught again. Maybe I should walk along the bridge to the other side? There's probably a better hiding spot on the other side anyway, even though I didn't think there was at first. I peek through the bush and notice that none of them are near me anymore. Good. I slowly back out of the bush and onto the bridge. I'm going to keep walking backwards until all of me is on the bridge, so that I can keep a good view if they are coming or not. Once I'm on it, I'll turn and run. I crouch and keep slowly backing up. I get one of my back paws on the bridge, and then slowly get the other back paw on too. Good, I'm almost there. The second my back paw gets on, I hear what sounds like cracking. What the heck is that noise? I think the tree branch is breaking off somewhere, but I can't risk looking back, because there's a chance they'll see me when I'm not paying attention. Well, whatever that noise is, it better stop or else it's going to get me found. I keep walking backwards, and the cracking gets louder and louder. Oh my God, I don't know what the heck that is, but I hate it. It's ruining my plan. I get one of my front paws on, and yep, once again, the cracking gets louder. Like, really loud. Something is definitely breaking. I get my last paw on the bridge. Yes! Now I just need to turn around and... America's point of view. Well, where the heck is he? I already checked the trees in 2 different areas, and even went by the bridge. Well, I don't know where he is. Sadly, I guess I'm going to have to give up. Mom and Dad are going to yell at us for being late, and I don't feel like dealing with them. Okay, guys, I think it's time we give up and just ask Nada to... My sentence gets cut off by a loud snapping noise. And what sounds like screaming and yelling. What was that? Aussie says loudly. It's coming from over there, New Zealand says, and points towards the river with his nose. I turn my head around and see something. Something no one should ever have to see. I see my brother getting taken by the fast-flowing river. Chapter 4, Riverside. America's point of view. I see my brother flowing in the river from afar. I don't know how the heck he got there, but it doesn't matter. We need to save him. Come on, let's go! I yell and start running towards the river, not even paying attention to Aussie or New Zealand behind me. Nada, hold on to something! I scream as we get closer. I don't know if he can hear me. The river is taking him up and down, but then I see him hold on to a large rock. Oh, thank God he heard me. Stay put, we'll get you out, I say. I see terror and fear in his eyes. He seems to be injured, but not too bad, thankfully.
Just some scratches and cuts. Nothing too big. I look behind me and see Aussie and New Zealand have followed me. But when I turn my head around, I hear more screams. Oh shit, what the fuck just happened? He's back in the river? Canada's point of view. I don't know what just happened. All I know is that I'm in the river. I try to swim, but the more I move, I feel something is cutting me. It's probably the rocks and twigs in the river. I can barely hear a scream that seems to be calling my name. I get a glimpse and see my brothers running towards me. America tells me to try to hold on to something, and so I do. I notice a huge rock coming up ahead, and I cling to it. I look down at the flowing water I'm in. What the hell is going to happen to me? I don't want to die. This is not the time for anxiety to come in. I just need to get back to land now. I hear America yell something else. I think he said for me to stay where I am. Not sure where else I would really go, but I'll hang on. I look over to see America, to see what is happening. And as I do, I feel a sharp pain hit my paw, causing me to lose my grip on the rock. Ow! I say loudly. What just hit me? As I try to think, another sharp pain hits me in the head, causing me to fall off the rock. As I fall, I make a slight scream, and I hear the water splash around me. I can't think straight anymore. I can't see either. What just happened? America's point of view. As I look back, I see him flowing again. The log, May! Ozzy says. I look down and notice a huge log pass over Canada in the river. Oh God, the log hit him. I think he's knocked out. I can't tell because the current is taking him too fast. We have to keep up! I yell and run down the sides of the grass to keep up where Canada is in the river. I yell his name repeatedly, but I get no response. Oh God, he's unconscious. Aussie and New Zealand catch up to me. As they come closer, an idea hits me. It seems like a stupid idea, but I don't really care. Aussie, Zeo, I'm going to jump. I need both of you to keep an eye on where I land and help pull me and Canada out of the water. I tell them as we run. What? Are you crazy? Aussie says. Yeah, you're gonna get taken by the river too. New Zealand replies. Just trust me on this. We don't have much time. I yell, and before they can respond, I turn around and leap into the water after Canada. I hit the water and go down for a bit, and then come back up. I look around trying to spot him. I see his body floating in the distance. It's him! I start to swim over, and as I do, I feel something light hit me. I look down and see his raccoon hat. Can't leave this behind. I take the hat and continue to swim over to him. The second I'm in reach of him, I lunge my mouth over and grab him by the scruff. Yep, he is definitely unconscious. I look to my right and see Aussie and New Zealand. Good, they listen to me. I begin to swim over to them. It's a bit hard to keep a steady pace with the river trying to push me back, but I won't let it. I finally get over to them. Here, take Nada, I say, and Aussie helps pull him up onto land as I try to push him up. Once he is on the grass, I fling his hat up too, and Aussie pulls it back to Nada. He seems to be trying to see if we can get Nada to wake up. Here, let me help you, New Zealand says. I try to push myself up as New Zealand tries to grab me by the scruff and pull me. As I'm getting up, I see something in the corner of my eye. Wait a minute, is that the... Oh, what the... I feel a huge pain in my head. I put my paw where it hurts. Am I bleeding? Where the heck am I? Water. Wait a minute. Why am I in the water? Wait, I'm still in the river. My thoughts finally come back to me. Everything about Canada, the river, and saving him. The log that hit Canada must have hit me. I look up and see New Zealand running along the grass to me. He's shouting, but I can't tell what he's saying. I shake my head and try to swim over to him, but I feel weak. I keep trying to swim, but I have no energy. The current keeps taking me further and further. I hear a loud sound. It's the sound that seems to be blocking my hearing from New Zealand and his words. I look to my left and see a huge waterfall. Holy shit! Help! I scream repeatedly. I put all of my energy to try and swim, but nothing seems to be working. I don't want New Zealand to jump in after me. I can't risk losing him too. This is horrifying. I'm scared. Russia's point of view. Sometimes Ukraine really pisses me off. Why can't he understand I do everything for a reason? If he would just listen and would understand. But no, instead he yells. Not gonna lie, sometimes I feel bad Belarus has to put up with us, but whatever. It's Ukraine's fault for what happens, not mine. How long should I keep walking in this forest? Actually, how long have I even been walking? I tend to storm out of the den when we argue. Sometimes being away relaxes me. I feel calm being out here in the quiet forest, with nothing to distract me. Wait, what the heck is that noise? It sounds like talking. Wait, no, yelling? Screaming? I turn my head where I hear the voice coming from. Should I? No, I'm not going to go. It's none of my business, so I shouldn't interfere. I should probably head back home anyway. As I start to turn around, I hear the screaming get louder. Ugh, fuck. I don't have a choice, do I? I turn back and start running to what looks like a river.
Chapter 5, On the Other Side. Russia's point of view. As I run, I get a closer view of the water. Yep, it's a river. The screaming and yelling gets louder as I get closer. Did someone fall in? I run past a few more trees before I'm inches away from the river. I turn my head to where the screaming is coming from. I can't see them from here. There's a huge rock in the way. I leap over the rock and climb up to the top of it to get a better view. Holy shit! I see a body floating in the river trying to swim. They're heading for a huge waterfall. Oh Lord. I don't have time to think of a plan for this. I leap off the rock and run to catch up with the body. As I run, I notice another figure running on the side of the river. Except they're a bit further from the body than I am. I think they're trying to get this cat too, but there's no way they would be able to catch up in time. I keep a close eye on the body. Perfect. I jump over in the water, landing next to the body. I grab them by the scruff with my mouth and try to swim over to the other side. I assume that the other cat running must be a friend or family member. It doesn't matter, though. All that matters is helping this cat get to land. God, is it hard to swim with the stupid flow of water pushing me back. I look down at the body as I swim. They seem to be unconscious, or they lost all their energy to swim. Probably from all the yelling. Wait a minute, is this... What? No, it can't be. Is this America? New Zealand's point of view. Everything is happening so fast. America just got hit in the head by the same log that hit Canada. I see him floating away and trying to swim. I run after him along the grass, but I can't keep up. The current is taking him away too fast. As I run, I notice the shadow of another cat on top of a rock. They leap down and run towards America. Who the heck is that? I see them run along the side and look at me. Then they jump in the water and grab him.
I don't know who they are, but I appreciate their help. I need to catch up to them. I look away and focus on running towards America and this strange cat. Ah! I hear in the distance, causing me to look up to see what has happened. Oh God, I can't see them anymore. Where are they? All I see is that same stupid log fall off the edge of the waterfall. Wait a minute. The log knocked them off the edge, didn't it? Shit! I finally make it to the end of the cliff and look down. I see both of them falling and watch as they hit the bottom of the river. Oh, fuck, this can't be good. Ozzy! I yell and turn around. I need his and Nada's help. Well, that is if Canada's even awake. He could still be unconscious. As I turn around to start running, I already notice Ozzy coming towards me with another cat behind him. Canada. Oh, thank God, he's alive. Both of them soon make it to me. Where's May? Canada says, out of breath. I put my ears back. How do I tell him this? I look back towards the end of the waterfall. Ozzy takes the hint. He knows what happened. Canada is still waiting for a response, but then looks at Ozzy, then at me. His face switches from a face of fear to a face of sadness. He understands what happened now. No, he's not dead, is he? Canada asks me. I'm not sure, I reply. Him and Ozzy then come next to me to look down the cliff. America and the other cat are still in the same spot as they were before, when I first looked. Why are there two bodies? Ozzy asks me. Some other cat jumped in to try and get May. I couldn't make out who it was, but I saw the log push them both off. There's a moment of silence before I hear a voice. We need Mom and Dad. They'll know what to do, Canada says, and turns around and starts running towards the exit of the hangout spot. Not too long after, Ozzy follows behind, and so do I. Russia's point of view. I slowly open my eyes. What the fuck just happened? My whole body hurts. I try to stand up. Ow. Even just barely moving hurts like hell. Well, something hit me, causing me to fall, I assume. I turn my head and notice a huge log. Yep, that thing. Whatever. Just where the heck am I? Or where are we, actually? I forgot. I only did this to help someone, which was stupid. Why did I even bother doing this? Now I'm stuck in this mess. Well, it's not like my life wasn't a mess before. I'd still have to deal with Ukraine when I got back home anyway. Now I just have another mess. I look over and notice the other cat is still knocked out. I walk around to get a better view of their face. Yep, it's America, just like I thought. Great. Out of all of the cats in the world I could have been stuck with, it's him. I mean, nothing's wrong with him, but sometimes he's just so annoying. Come to think of it, I haven't talked to him in a while, actually. I guess we could catch up on what's going on in our lives while we find our way out of here. Nothing special or important is really going on in my life, but whatever. I'd leave him for dead and be on my way, but I jumped in to save him, so what would the point of trying to save someone be just to leave them to die? Well, who knows how long we'll be here if he stays asleep. I guess I can try to wake him up. America's point of view. Hey, are you awake? I hear a voice say to me. I then feel my body lightly get shaken. The voice doesn't sound like one of my brothers, but yet it's still familiar. I squint my eyes and slowly open them. My vision is blurry at first until I blink a few times. Huh? Who is that? Wait, is that Russia?
Chapter 6: New Lands, New Adventures.
America's point of view. Russia? Is that you? I say weakly. I can barely even move. I try to look up at him. I don't know what just happened, or why I'm here with him. Wait, doesn't he kinda hate me? Actually, I'm not sure. We haven't talked in forever, so who knows what he thinks of me. Yes, it is me. You're awake now, so we should get going. Wait, get going? What does he even mean by get going? Where are we? I ask him. He doesn't respond, but goes around me. I look back and notice he is picking up his ushanka out of the water and shakes it off. He places it back on his head. Wait a minute, where are my sunglasses? I get up slowly. Every movement hurts to get up. Once I'm up, I look forward and notice Russia is already ahead of me walking. Hey, can you wait up? Can you at least answer my question? He sighs at my comment. I know just as much as you do. I have no clue where we are, but it's best we try to find the way out of here. Oh, and here, I found these. I suppose you're looking for them. I was confused at his comment until he flung the sunglasses at me. Thanks, I reply. Whatever. Now, come on. We should get going. How would he even know a way out if he has never been here himself? I walk a bit behind him, looking around the surroundings of this forest. As I walk, I bump into someone and stumble back a bit. Russia hisses at me in response. My bad. Why'd you stop walking anyway? I notice his attention facing the rocky cliff with the waterfall. Do you think we could climb it? He asks. Yeah, no, it's not safe. I can climb, but that's a long way up. Plus, we don't know how sturdy those rocks are. We could fall just by barely stepping on one. I think you're just lazy, he says, and leaps onto the cliff. Seriously? Lazy? Well, if he wants to go and die from falling off a cliff, let him be my guest. I watch as he tries to climb up the cliffside. He's doing a pretty decent job, actually. As I think that, I notice his paw slip off a rock and he hits the ground. I sigh and shake my head. If only he would just listen to me. Russia's point of view. The cliff didn't seem like such a bad choice. We could probably climb it and get to the top in no time. I asked him to make sure he thinks I had a good idea, but of course, being him, he doesn't think so. Oh, please, this is a great idea. He's probably just too lazy to climb. I don't know why he wouldn't consider climbing. We would be up way quicker than trying to find some path to get through. He says it's not safe, but it's as safe as it's going to get. I leap up to the cliff and start to climb it. Yep, perfect. My plan works just like I suspected it would. If he doesn't climb, he's going to get stranded down here. But that's on him, not me. I put my paw on a rock and continue to climb, and as I do so, I notice it seems wobbly. Not as sturdy as the other rocks, but that's fine. Could probably still get up. Ow! What the heck? I'm back on the ground. That stupid rock. I hear a sigh come from behind me. I stand up and turn around. Come on, you goof. We can find another way back up, America says and chuckles. He turns around and starts walking.
Oh, so now what? You're just going to lead us somewhere? He pauses, hearing my comment. Wait, is he actually thinking about it? Oh, God, no. I didn't mean for him to actually... Yep, I'll lead since you insist, he says. God damn it. Great. We're going to be stuck here forever now. I start to follow him, and as I do, I feel pain in my paw. Ow! Why does it hurt so much every step? I stop walking and look down at it. Oh, great. I cut it on that stupid rock. Whatever. It's fine. I just have to keep going. America's point of view. It looks like I'm leading where we go now. Sweet. I could tell he didn't mean to put me in charge of this, but oh well. Got to watch what you say, I guess. As I walked, I looked at the surroundings again, like last time, but not too long after, something distracts me. I hear what sounds like grunting behind me. I turn around and see Russia limping. Maybe he got hurt from falling down the waterfall. I'm surprised I'm not hurt. I mean, my body is kind of aching, but nothing serious. What's wrong? I ask him. He looks up at me, and then back at his paw. Nothing. Just my paw is a bit hurt, that's all. Well, you sound like you're dying from here. Mind if I take a look at it? I asked him. He gave me a bit of a confused look, but he also seemed like he was embarrassed to give me his paw for some reason. I walked over to him, and he put out his paw. Ouch, that looks kind of bad. You should probably clean it so it can heal faster. Yeah, I know. I'll do it later, though. Let's just keep moving, he replies. Are you sure you want to keep going? We could stop for a bit if you need. I'd prefer if he at least took the time to clean it before we kept walking. I once had a wound on my paw before. I didn't let it heal at all, and it got worse and worse. If we stop for a bit, will you stop asking these questions? He says. Sure. If he helps his paw, I guess I could cut down on asking him things. Okay, but let's keep going just for a bit more first. To get away from the waterfall. He replies. Oh? Or do you just want to get away from the mean cliff? I tease. Shut up, he says and chuckles at my words. All right, let's get going, I say and start to pace to a new part of the forest. Hello, my paw, Russia says, causing me to turn around and look at him. Oh, right, I forgot he can't run with that wound. I'll just walk slower. Or does he need my help walking? I don't know. I'll just walk by his side. I leap back over to him. Okay, now let's go, I say, looking at him, and he smiles. Well, I guess he doesn't hate me. Then, that's good. Chapter 7, Hunting Grounds. Russia's point of view. We've been walking throughout the forest for a bit now. A couple times, America insisted that we just stopped where we were so I could rest, but every time I said no. There's no need to stop. I don't care if it hurts while I walk. I just want to get out of here. He tried to make small talk along the way, and I didn't mind it, really. It's nice to be able to talk to someone without having an end in an argument every single time. I guess he grew out of that annoying habit he used to have, which is pretty nice if you ask me. Look, we could stay over here, I hear America say, causing me to look towards him. I look in the direction he points in front of us and notice a large patch of grass that doesn't have many trees in the center of it. It seems nice,
Having less trees in the way makes it easier to find a spot if we ever got separated. Should we stay here? It seems like a good spot if you ask me, America said while looking at me. Yeah, I think we should, I say in response, and start moving towards the small area. Once I get there, I lean near a tree and sit down. I start to try and lick my wound to help clean it and help it heal. Well, according to America, this is usually a good way to heal it. Usually, me and my siblings would just walk it off and keep going, but if a wound is pretty bad, we would wrap it in something like silk or leaves. I guess if the wound is clean, it could heal faster. I've just never taken the time to realize that. Wow. America's point of view. I noticed a spot in the distance while walking. I told Russia about it, and he seems to like the small spot too. I look at him as he walks ahead of me and goes to sit by a tree and lick his paw. I walk over and sit by him to watch. There's nothing else that's really entertaining to look at, so this is all I have to work with. I can tell he sees me watching him in the corner of his eye, but he doesn't seem too bugged by it. If he was, I'm pretty sure he'd say something. I open my mouth to try and think of something to say to start a conversation, when all of a sudden I get cut off by a growl. Did that come from me? I look down at my stomach. You hungry? I hear a voice say to me. I turn my head to see Russia looking at me. Yeah, I guess. I didn't really get to eat breakfast. I chuckle. I'm gonna go try and hunt something, I say, and leap away from Russia. Okay, cool. I'll come in a second, I hear him say, causing me to turn my head. Okay, I'll see you later, I reply, and leap into a new part of the forest. Time skip of about 10 minutes. Oh my god, it's been forever, and I still can't find a single mouse anywhere here. There are so many close to home. How the heck could there be none here? It's not that far down the hill. Besides, I thought mice lived anywhere. Well, I'm probably going to starve to death because of this. Great. As I keep trying to look for mice, I hear a huge caw from another direction. I turn my head and decide to head towards the sound. I think a crow just died or something, because that was loud. As I make my way over, I see another cat's shadow. I move a bit closer to make out who it is. The second I get closer to them, I notice who it is. Right away, it's Russia, holding a dead crow in his mouth. Russia's point of view. I watch from afar as America leaves to go hunt. My eyes follow him until all I can see is his shadow, then nothing. I told him I'd help him hunt too in a bit. I don't want to be useless. Besides, there's not much to do here alone anyway. I finish cleaning my paw and decide to head into the forest. I go to another part of the forest America didn't discover, that way I don't ruin his chance of catching something. As I walk to another part, I look up when I hear calling. Crows. I watch as they all look around at one another. I stay back until one flies to the ground. Perfect. I crouch down and put out my claws. I eye the bird carefully, and then I leap out of the trees, shadows, and pounce on the bird. It starts to make a lot of noise, causing the other birds to fly away, but I don't care. God, if only this one would shut up already. It tries to fly away from me, but it can't go anywhere. I have my claws and mouth sunk into it. I then bite its neck, causing it to go limp. Finally, it's quiet. I pick the bird back up and turn my head to see America. I wasn't expecting him, but I don't mind it. He seems to notice the bird in my mouth because I see him looking down at it. Whoa, nice catch, he tells me. Thanks. Have you caught anything yet? I ask him. No, sadly, I can't find a mouse anywhere, he says. I walk closer to him. Oh, well, it's fine. If you want, we could share. Shh, he tells me. Wow, rude. He just cut me off. I look at him, confused. I notice he is staring at the ground. I look in the same direction he did and see the grass moving. I think it's a mouse. My focus leaves the ground and traces back to America. I see him slowly crouch down, still looking at the spot. I would back away, but that could ruin his chance of catching it, so I don't. I watch as he leaps into the air and pounces on the small figure. I hear its little squeaks, but then nothing. He must have sunk his teeth into it hard enough to kill it on the first bite. Quite impressive, if you ask me. America's point of view. Yes, I finally found a mouse, and caught it. It only took forever to find one, but at least I have one now. So much for not being able to find the mouse. I hear Russia say from behind me. I turn around and look at him. Yeah, I guess. I chuckle, and he smiles back at me. Come on, let's go eat. I'm starving, I say, and leap back to the grassy spot. When I get back, I lay down and start to eat some of the mouse. I didn't even realize how hungry I was until now. I look up and notice Russia came to sit by me and eat his catch as well. I didn't know you could catch birds. I suck at catching them, I tell Russia. He chuckles at my response. What's so funny? I ask him, a bit confused. Nothing. It's just, well, the only reason I know how to catch birds is because of something stupid I did on accident as a kitten. Oh, what's this? I say, interested. Nah, never mind. You probably wouldn't care, he says, looking back. Oh, come on. You can't just tell me that and expect me not to be interested, I reply. Well, okay then. So, you see, when I was small, my dad took me and my siblings out to teach us how to hunt. He wanted to teach us how to catch a simple field mouse. After he demonstrated and caught one, he let us try. I don't think he was paying attention to me as much as he was the others. But what can you expect, considering that there were 3 of us, after all? After some time went by, our dad asked us to show him the mouse we caught. Ukraine and Belarus showed him theirs. He then asked me to show him the mouse, and when I turned around, he saw a huge bird in my mouth instead. What? No way! I say in shock. Your first catch was a bird? Usually it can take some cats a bit of time for them to get better at catching them. Yeah, I know. My dad was pretty shocked too, he said while chuckling. Wow, and I struggled just barely catching a mouse today, I said, causing both of us to have a small laugh. I felt a small, warm blush appear on my face. We talked for a couple of hours before the sun started to set. I looked up at the sunset, enjoying how peaceful it looked. It made me feel safe, like I knew I was going to be okay. I know it's only sunset, but I think I'm going to go to sleep, I heard Russia say. I turned my head to look at him. I watched as he went from sitting up to laying down and stretching. Yeah, I think I will too. Today has been a long day, I said, and laid down across from Russia. Night, Russia, I said. Good night, May, I heard him say before passing out into a deep sleep. Russia's point of view. Huh? Where am I? Why is everything so dark? Hello, May? Is anyone there? Hello, traitor. Chapter 8. Broken Relationships. Russia's point of view. What? Who's there? Show yourself. I don't know. Who the heck said that? Is there even anyone in this dark place with me? Maybe I'm just thinking there was a voice, but there was nothing. I don't know. The only thing I know is that I don't want to be here. I hear paw steps come in front of me. I look forward and see. Ukraine? Is that you? I ask and look over to see another figure enter this black void. Belarus. What are you guys doing here? Where are we? I asked in a confused tone, facing Ukraine. It doesn't matter where we are. We need to talk, he says in reply. Talk about what? Everything. Everything you ruined. Ruined? What does he mean, ruined? I didn't do anything to him. What the hell does that mean? I ask. Ukraine chuckles to himself in response. Of course you wouldn't know. You never pay attention to me or Belarus. We should never have accepted you back into our life after Dad died. He yells at me. I pin my ears back, a bit hurt by hearing those words. Ukraine, you can't say that, I hear Belarus say. You know better than me to say such things. Dad, what? You and I both know the truth, Belle. Dad would agree with this too. He yelled at Belarus, cutting her off, causing her to put her head and ears down as she faced the ground, avoiding eye contact from us. I'm confused. How did I ruin the damn thing for you? And what do you mean you shouldn't have accepted me? I protected and raised the both of you when you left us. I have done nothing but help you. I yelled at him. Helped? I basically raised myself and Belle without you. He snapped at me. That's not true, and you know that, Ukraine. You know Dad told me to take charge when his time had come, and I did everything he asked of us. I replied with a calmer tone. Yeah, right. Sure, he said that. You say that, but it's not true. Why did we ever believe he would say such things? I remember that day clear as daylight, and your story doesn't fit in, Russ. What the hell does he mean, doesn't fit in? Ukraine, I told you what is true, and it is still true to this day, I said, confused on how he could not believe my words. If he didn't believe what our father's last words were, why would he barely tell me now? Why didn't he when we were younger? We could have worked something out. Don't you remember anything, Russ? We used to be happy. We used to care about each other and loved each other. But then when Dad died, everything changed. You said you saw him lying on the ground, and that's when his last words were for you to take care of us. I believed it, and it was stupid, and I shouldn't have. You didn't treat us the same like you used to. You weren't the same brother I knew. You didn't talk to us, didn't go places with us. Heck, even your personality changed. You used to be so fun to be around, and then I don't know what happened to you. You just got mad at the littlest of things. I remember when me and Belarus were even too scared to ask for help when we needed it. All these years, I've been putting it together, and it makes sense now. Ever since Dad died, you didn't even want to see another living soul on Earth. You blocked everyone out of your life and closed every relationship you ever had, including us. You used his death as an excuse to never talk to us again. But hey, that's fine. We all make different choices in life, right? Some just won't care about you no matter how hard you try to make them. Ukraine states as a few tears roll down his cheeks. Ukraine, I didn't mean for what I did to come off on you like that. I was just upset too, like all of us were at the time. I said, trying to get closer to him, but he looked away. I don't want to hear it, Russ. It doesn't matter now. You didn't even take care of us like you promised Dad. You ruined our relationship. You ruined our family. He says, causing me to step back a bit. I look over his shoulder and see Belarus sitting down, looking away from me with her eyes closed, taking in all the words she had just heard. Belarus, I said, looking towards her, hoping she would reply. She has to know I cared about them, and still do. Ukraine's right, Russ. I tried so hard to believe you didn't mean to hurt us, but you just threw us to the side like we didn't matter for so long, she says as tears started to flow down from her eyes. Ukraine notices and goes over to her and puts his head by hers. I stood back, confused on what to do. I didn't mean to hurt them. I swear I didn't. Come on, Belle, let's go. He doesn't love us and never will, I hear Ukraine say. I watch as they get up and start to run away. I don't know what to think. No, they can't say I don't love them. I do with all my heart. Wait, no, stop. We can work this out. Please, please come back. I yell and start to run after them, but they seem to be getting further and further away. I can't see them anymore as they get further in the void. No, please come back. I'm sorry. Belarus, Ukraine, please come back. Please, please don't leave me. America's point of view. I slowly open my eyes. I hear the sounds of birds in the trees. I'm not sure what time it is, but I don't really care. I guess I will get up though. Russia is probably already up anyway. I slowly get up and stretch my body. I then yawn and, with sleep-filled eyes, scan the forest for Russia from my spot. As I move, I notice a body still lying down. Oh, I guess he sleeps in late, like me. As I look at him, I notice something seems to be happening to his body. It's twitching, a lot. That's a bit odd. I mean, nothing's weird with twitching while you sleep, but I've never seen someone twitch so much. I walk over slowly, a bit curious. He seems to be mumbling words, too. Is he dreaming? As I get closer, I notice a few tears coming from his eyes. What the heck? What kind of dream is this? Wait. Oh shit, this isn't a dream, is it? It's actually the opposite. Chapter 9. Don't think about it. America's point of view. I watch as his shaking movements became more intense. This isn't okay. I've got to do something. I put my 2 paws on him and lightly try to shake him. Russia, wake up! I say repeatedly. He still seems to be in a deep phase of sleep. He's still in the nightmare. Snap out of it! I yell at him. Well, fuck, this isn't working. He's not waking up. I guess I don't have any other choice. Come on, Russ, wake up! I yell loudly into one of his ears and shake him forcefully. I then notice his eyes open fastly and widely. I stop shaking him and step back. He's looking at me like he's just seen a ghost. Russ, are you okay? Russia's point of view. I feel my body being shaken by someone else. I open my eyes to see what's going on. Where am I now? Where did my siblings go? As I open my eyes, I see America standing in front of me. He seems to be talking, but I can't hear him. I feel a ringing in my ears instead. I slowly sit up and shake my head. I look back at America, and he's staring at me, concerned. "Where's Ukraine and Belarus?" I ask him. "What?" He responds, confused, and tilts his head a bit. "Ukraine and Belarus were never here, Russia. Did you see them in a dream?" he asks me. "I'm not sure if dream is the right way to put it. It doesn't matter now, though," I say and look away from him. He doesn't need to know what happened. It was fake, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. I just have to remember that. I stand up and walk past America. "Where are you going?" I hear him say from behind me. "To hunt. After we eat, we should get a move on." "Okay, sounds good. I'll go find something too. Meet back here when we catch something?" he asks. "Yeah," I reply without looking at him and continue to move into the forest. I can't get that nightmare out of my mind, though. I know it shouldn't mean anything, but I can't help but feel it kind of does. America's point of view. I watch as Russia gets up and walks away into the forest to catch something to eat. He agreed we would meet back when we caught something, but I'm not sure if he meant it. He didn't look at me when I asked him, and he sounded sad, like something hurt him. I tried to smile at him to try and make a happy mood out of it, but he didn't notice. I get up and walk in the opposite direction of Russia. I don't know why he's acting strange. I asked him about if he was okay, but he blocked out my question. He just asked me if I saw Ukraine and Belarus. I assume he must have saw them in that dream, or, well, I asked him if it was a dream. It seemed like more of a nightmare to me, but I didn't want to assume the worst about what he saw. He seemed like he wanted to be left alone when he woke up. I mean, he did leave pretty fast when I woke him. He's not mad at me, is he? I don't think he would be. Actually, that's a lie. He probably is mad at me. If it weren't for me, he wouldn't be stuck down here. I guess that shouldn't matter much anymore, though. We're already down here, so there's no point in being angry at each other the whole time. I think Russia's nightmare scared him. It would explain why he seemed sad. I'm curious to know more about it. I'd ask him about it, but I'm afraid he'll be mad at me if I do so. Or, well, more angry if I already made him pissed by waking him. About 30 minutes later, Russia's point of view. After a bit of time, I finally caught another bird. It was hard to focus with all my thoughts, so I missed the birds the first couple of times. I want to eat alone, if I'm being honest. I need time to stop thinking about the stupid nightmare. It doesn't mean anything, so why do I keep coming back to it? I'm tired, but I don't think I should go back to sleep. We need to get a move on if we're ever going to get out of here, back to our homes. Plus, I don't want to go back to sleep. I'm a bit scared that whatever the heck that stupid nightmare was will, well, come back. I put my food down and was about to take the first bite when another thought hits me. Oh, right. I told America I'd eat with him, didn't I? Great. I could just eat on my own. He'd forgive me. But I know I shouldn't. He doesn't deserve it. I sigh and take my catch and start to run back to our area. When I finally get there, I look and expect to see America. Nope, no one's here. I guess he hasn't caught anything. Guess I'll wait for him. I don't mind, I guess. I lay down, laying my catch in front of me. I let my mind drift off into a million thoughts while waiting. America's point of view. Well, okay. After only 1,000 years, once again, I finally caught another mouse. I should have probably tried to catch something else, but I think mice taste the best, so it's always worth it in the end. Oh shoot, how long have I been out here? Russia is most likely already back by now, if not sooner. I turn around and start to race back to the area. Good going, America. Now Russia is going to really hate you. He probably already ate without me anyway. When I finally get back, I stumble upon Russia lying down with a bird in front of him. I notice as he slowly moves his eyes towards me. Look who's late to the party, he says as a small smirk forms on his face. Wow, he didn't eat without me. He doesn't seem mad either. Thank God he's not. I feel relief seeing the smirk on his face. It causes me to smile. Sorry I'm late, I say and walk closer to him. It's fine. Those mice are still hard to find, huh? He replies. Yeah, I say with a slight chuckle. I lay close to him and start to eat my catch, and he does the same. Maybe he wasn't mad at me earlier, just sleepy. Well, whatever it was, I'm glad it's over and that he seems fine again. Russia's point of view. I look over and notice America has finally shown up. I tease at him and he smiles in reply. Not gonna lie, I like his smile. It seems cute. Not in a weird way. Just, he seems so happy when he does it. I can't help but feel at least a bit happy when talking to him. I'm glad our relationship has gotten better. We were never close at all. I didn't like him at all that much before either. But he's okay when you get to know him, I guess. Plus, it feels nice to feel happy for once after the nightmare and me and Ukraine's argument back at home. We talk for a bit as we eat. It's nice to have company. It feels good to be able to talk to someone without there being any bad blood in the conversation. As I finish eating, I look over and notice America has finished eating too. I sit up and lick my paw to clean myself. We should get a move on now, I say, looking towards the other part of the forest. Yeah, you're right. We should, I hear America say, causing me to look back at him. I watch him as he slowly gets up, then looks back at me. I stop licking my paw and start walking forward. I look over at my other side to see America walking side by side with me. He notices, so I smile at him, causing him to smile back. I like this. It's nice. America's point of view. Talking to Russia while eating is nice. I mean, I like to talk to most cats while eating, or doing whatever, but this feels different. I don't know what makes it feel so different, or so special. Maybe it's because we didn't really know each other that well, and now we kind of do? I don't know. He tells me we should get going, and he's right. We should get going, but I don't want to. I don't want to stop talking to him, and I don't want him to stop talking to me. I feel a bit sad at the thought. I guess we could talk as we walk, though. Thinking this makes me feel happy as I slowly get up. I notice Russia seemed to be licking his paw. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about his paw. I think it's healing better. After resting that one night, it should have healed a bit more. As we walk, I feel like asking him about his paw, but then again, if I do, he will probably think that it's odd that I'm still walking by his side. I want to keep walking by his side, though, to talk. I notice in the corner of my eye that he's looking at me. Maybe he doesn't like that I'm walking next to him. I look up at him, and he smiles at me. Oh, I guess he doesn't care then. Seeing his smile makes me smile back at him. It's nice to know that he doesn't mind it. Good, because I have many things I want to ask him, including the nightmare. I'm curious on what it was about. I'm not sure if he wants to share, though. I guess there's only one way to find out. As I'm about to ask, a voice distracts me. May? I hear Russia say as he looks forward. Yeah? I reply. Can I ask you something? He says. Sure. I reply and stop to look at him as he does the same.
Chapter 10. Rainy Days and Hope.
Russia's point of view. America looks me in the eyes while waiting for a response. I pin my ears back and look down. How do you do what you do? I ask. God, that was terrible. I'm not sure how to ask. I look at him in the corner of my eye. He flicks his ear and has a confused look on his face. Do what I do? What do you mean? He replied. Yep, I knew he would say that. Of course he would, because I can't word anything right for crap. I try to pull myself together and look at him in the eyes again. I mean, how do you know how to help others so well? Like, you were able to help me with, that nightmare or whatever. Plus, you even cared about my paw and wanted to help me with healing it. Why? I don't understand how he knows what to do in some situations. I wouldn't have ever known how to get out of that nightmare myself. America's point of view. I look up at Russia and listen to his questions. I was a bit shocked hearing him mention the nightmare. I thought he might never want to share it. Maybe he'll tell me what happened? May? I hear a voice say. Huh? I shake my head. Sorry, I spaced out for a bit, but the things that have happened to you recently aren't new to me, especially with a big family. I say with a slight chuckle. My family has always looked out for each other, even on the smallest things like hurting your paw. The nightmare thing, that's pretty common too. It started a lot with my mom, actually. She's had a few horrible ones before, and because of it, we would commonly have to wake her up. I put my ears down. Thinking of those times was really hard on all of us. Knowing she could never sleep peacefully was awful. It ruined her mentally for the longest time. I look away from Russia, but continue to speak. I'm grateful to have my brothers. We've dealt with so many things together, and I'm not sure what I'd do without them. A moment of silence is left between us before I start to feel my eyes water up. And knowing I almost lost Canada, I try to say while sniffling, I saw how fast he was going down the water, Russ. So why didn't I die? How am I alive? And then I dragged you into this. I can't keep walking. I can't see straight anymore. I slowly sit where I'm at. I'm sorry, I say and look down. No, don't be. This is my fault. I shouldn't have asked you about this. I hear Russia say as he walks in front of me. Russia's point of view. Oh God, did I make him cry? What is wrong with me? I'm so sorry I made you feel this way. Don't think of your past. You're alive, and that's good. You're still here. You saved your brother's life, May. From what I know of you, you're a smart, kind, and loving cat. Plus, I know you have many great things ahead of you. Be glad that you're still here. I know I am. Wait, did I say that out loud? Oh God, that sounds so stupid. Why did I say that? Why? You are? I hear America say. I look back towards him after yelling at myself in my head. I mean, well, yeah, I'd probably be dead without you. I most likely wouldn't even be able to look at my paw. I say with a smile, and he chuckles in response. How is your paw doing anyway? He asks me. I raise my paw and put it towards him. I think it looks better, I say. Yeah, way better, he says while smiling and starts getting up slowly. Let's keep going, he asks. Yeah, I say while smiling and turn my head forward. America's point of view. I keep walking alongside Russia and can't help but feel a bit happy knowing what he said earlier about being glad I'm still here. I didn't realize he cared about me. Or, well, seems to. You know, you're right. We do have good things coming our way, I say to try and lighten the mood. He looks at me and lets out a small chuckle. Yeah, maybe not for me, but you do. Hearing him say that makes me confused. What is that supposed to mean? You're a good person, too, you know, I reply. Thanks, but I'm not so sure my siblings... Russia starts to say before I cut him off. No more talking for you, I say and put my paw in his mouth. I smile and he lets out a small chuckle. Can I talk if I agree with you? He asks. Maybe, I say and leap in front of him while laughing. I hear him have a light laugh and look back to see him smiling. I think I really like this guy. I'm glad we're friends. Russia's point of view. I smile at America as he looks back at me. When he turns his head forward, I put my ears back. I know he usually likes to look on the bright side of things, but I don't have a good future planned out. My only family hates me, and it's all my fault too. I want to tell America about my nightmare if I'm being honest, but I don't think I should. I don't want to make him upset or make him cry again. That was awful, and it wasn't even for a long period of time. He really is a sweet guy, but I don't want to risk hurting him again. I'll keep my thoughts in as long as it means he's okay. As I walk, I see America stop in the corner of my eye. Are you okay? I ask and walk closer to him. Yeah, but I think something hit my nose. Confused at his words, I tilt my head. All of a sudden, I feel something hit my tail. I look back to see nothing. I think something hit me too, I say, and look up to see a bunch of raindrops falling. Little by little, more and more fall. We need to find a place to go, I hear America say right before the sound of thunder cuts him off and lightning can be seen in the sky. I look forward quickly and look for something we can work as shelter. Aha! Yes! A big tree. Perfect. This way! Follow me! I yell and run straight for the large tree. Without looking back, I can tell America is following me by the sound of his paw steps. We both run under and quickly try and shake off all the water. So much for good things coming our way, he says, leading us to both chuckle. What's stay here for the day? I ask. Well, looking at this weather, we might be here all night, America replies. That works too, I say and smile at him. He does the same back at me.
Chapter 11, Out and Ready.
Canada's point of view. It's been a few days now after losing America. Me and my brothers ran back to our parents. We explained everything that had happened. Our father went to other countries for help. He sent many patrols in different directions throughout the forest. Only a few groups had gone down to the lower region where America had fallen, due to it being an unexplored area that no one knew about. No one wanted to risk getting lost themselves. I'm still surprised that one cat, China, offered to go. Everyone looked at him like he was crazy, but he didn't seem to mind. He didn't go alone, though. UK sent Japan with him. I tried to talk to my dad about letting me go to find my brother, but he snapped back at me every time I asked. He makes me so frustrated every time he tells me that, but Mom says it's just because he's scared. I knew when she said that it was because he's scared of losing me. It's all my fault, this whole situation. Nothing would have happened if I wasn't so dumb and didn't act like a child. I know I should look on the bright side, that my brother could still be out there, but what if he's not? What if he did die because of me? Nada! Mom and Dad want to see us! I hear a voice say from behind. I blink a few times and turn around to see my brother, Ozzy. Oh, okay, I'll be there in a minute, I tell him. No, they want to see us right now, he says and turns around, leaping to their den. I don't want to talk to anyone right now, though. Too many things are going on in my mind at the moment, and I guess now I'll be adding this conversation to the list. I turn around and slowly head over to my parents' den, where I see the rest of my family sitting and waiting for me. France's point of view. I get out of my den and see UK appear at my side. Well, today's the day we tell them, I say while looking at him, and give a small smile. I guess, he replies, and looks down at the ground with his ears back. I put my ears back and walk closer to him. Honey, I know this is hard, but we have to. We need to do this together, I tell him, and rub my head against his neck. I know we need to. I don't want to lose them too, he says and looks down at me. We will find May, and I promise you, we won't lose anyone, I reply, and head towards Australia and New Zealand's den. I explain to them that I need to talk to them about something important with them at the den. I ask Ozzy to go and get Canada, which he nods in response to. I go to my den with New Zealand following me. I watch from afar as I see Ozzy leaping back to us all, with Canada slowly walking behind. I feel so bad for him. He hasn't been his normal self ever since losing May. Once all three of them are here, I look at UK before turning my head back to our sons. Boys, there is something your father would like to tell you, I say and look at him. He looks up at them and puts his ears up. As we all know, I have sent troops to go search for America. But I don't think we should leave it to the troops only anymore. We will be heading out tomorrow in the early morning in search for him. UK says. I look at all three of them, and they seem so happy knowing that they will get to help, especially Canada. I know he has wanted to help from day one. Yes, I personally think the troops sent aren't enough, I say. I will do anything to find him, Mom, I hear Canada say. I smile back at him. We all will, sweetie. I think we should all go to sleep early tonight. We have to get up early for a good head start, I reply and turn back into the den. I hear the paw steps of UK following behind me and the others leaving. Tomorrow is a new day, and all I want is my baby back. One day later, Canada's point of view. I wake up with my eyes wide open. It's still dark out, but I can tell the sun is going to come up soon. I decide to sprint over to Aussie and New Zealand's den. I nudge Aussie with both of my paws. Wake up! We have to get a head start on today, I say loudly. Aussie mumbles something, but I'm not sure what. He slowly opens his eyes and gets up. Wake up, Zeal. I'm gonna go get Mom and Dad. I leap out of the den before he could say anything and run. I go to my parents' den, and just as I barely step upon inside, my mom walks out. Hi, dear, she says softly. Your father is ready, but we will have to wait for him. He went to the path the other cats took that leads downhill to make sure that the first half of it wouldn't cause any trouble if we took the route, she tells me, and looks up. I face her direction and see Aussie and New Zealand coming towards us. We should eat while we wait. Your father caught some mice this morning. They should be easier to catch now that it's rained. All of them will want to come out for water, our mother tells us, and leads the way to a pile of food on the inside of their den. I glance at the mice. Mice, America's favorite. Probably because he is so good at catching them. I sigh and take a mouse. I'll just eat away from the rest of them this morning. I don't want to talk to anyone, really. I move to another side of the den and lay down and start eating. About 10 minutes later, I hear paw steps coming close to the den. I stand up and walk outside. I see Dad coming close to me. Is your mother inside? He asks me. Yeah, we all are, I tell him. He walks inside and I follow behind him. Everyone looks at him and France walks closer to him. How's the path? She asks. From what I can see, it's clear. As of now, the path should be completely safe for us to go through. Nothing was ruined from the rain the other night. The only thing we will have to watch out for is it probably being slippery and muddy. Although, we have to remember, I only saw half of the path. The other side is across the river. We will have to take the long way to get around it, he states. That's good. Let's head out then, Mom says, loud enough for all of us to hear. I look back at New Zealand and see he hasn't finished eating. He'll probably eat on the way, though. I walk out of the den and turn right, the direction my dad came from. I wait for them all to get out of the den before moving again. Come, follow me. If we move fast, it shouldn't be too long before we get there, my father says as he starts to leap to the path me and my brothers all take to the river all the time. I hope we find him. No, we will. We will find him. If it's the last thing I do, then so be it. I run to my father's side and decide to lead with him. Chapter 12, Racing Mind. No one's point of view. Canada and the rest of his family had been searching for a good day now. Everything on their search had been normal up until one small mishap. While climbing up a small muddy hill, Ozzy slipped on his front paw and slid down. Luckily, the hill was not far from the lower area, but that didn't mean the rest of the family wasn't worried. They all raced down to Ozzy to make sure he was okay and helped him get back up. They were about to turn around to climb back up the small hill when all of a sudden a voice called from behind them. Canada's point of view. Me and New Zealand were helping Ozzy get up when our dad told us we should start to head back up the hill. After making sure we were okay, we started to turn around. It wasn't until we heard, "You all came?" That stopped us in our tracks and caused us to turn around. It was Mexico. Him and Brazil were sent to patrol down here in the lower area. "Oh, Mexico, I'm glad we found you. Have you seen any sights of America?" France asked and walked closer to him. "Sadly, no. Me and Brazil haven't seen any clues that could have led us to where he is. We're not even sure he's in the west side of the forest anymore. But there are areas we still need to check before heading elsewhere. What are you all doing here anyway, if you don't mind me asking?" Mexico asks. I watch as my father steps forward, getting closer to my mother. We decided that we would all come down to try and help find him. My dad says in reply, "Well, if that's the case, then I recommend you all keep heading east. I'm not sure if there are any other troops over there already, but if not, then we can get a full search on the forest faster," Mexico says. "Thank you for your help. We'll search the east area, and if the other troops are there, we'll look in an unexplored part," UK says and turns around to start heading back up the hill. Aussie and New Zealand turn around to follow him. "Thank you," I hear my mom say, and then slowly leap back to UK. Mexico nods his head and starts to turn back. "Wait, Mexico," I say. He turns back to face me, putting one ear down in confusion. "By any chance, do you know what route China and Japan took?" I ask curiously. I want to know where China went, because I bet if anyone could find him, it would be him. He's really good at finding things that are hidden. Although I'm not sure how he is with finding lost cats. If we can find China, maybe he'll be with America. I'm sorry, but no, I'm not sure. They both were the first cats sent out on the search and left quite quickly, if you ask me. I didn't have any time to ask them what part of the forest they were in. I did have time to ask Norway and Denmark, though. Do you want to know where they are? He asks me. No thanks, it's fine. Thank you for all the help you've given us, I say and put my ears back. Dang it, does anyone know where he could be? Wait, what part of the forest did you come from? I hear Mexico ask me. I lose my thoughts and look back at him. We came from the river. We had to take the long way to get to the other side due to the broken bridge. I keep my ears down after saying that. I still feel awful for doing what I did. Oh yeah, I forgot about the bridge, he says, causing a moment of silence between us. You know, maybe they came out the same way you guys did. I look at Mexico and notice his ears perk up as if he got an interesting thought. Even if you took the long route to get to the other side, that's still a faster way to get down here than how me and the other troops did. Me and Brazil took an even longer route on the west to see if America and that other cat would have maybe found their way back up. Denmark and Norway did the same, just on the north side. He explains to me. Do you think he was already down here while we were all still up above? I ask. Possibly, yeah. When your father asked Cats about going down to the lower area, China jumped for that spot. The second he got with Japan for his partner, they both ran away and I assume headed out to search. Due to how China acted, maybe they were trying to find a way to get down here and didn't search up above. Mexico tells me. Oh my God, it all makes sense now. The route we took was the fastest way to get down here. China would take the same way if all he wanted to do was get to the lower area. Mexico, you're a genius. Thank you for everything, I tell him. You're welcome. I've got to go find Brazil now. Good luck to you all, he tells me. You too, I say and turn around and head up to the small hill to get back to my family. Once I finally make it up, I look to my left and see my mom, so I run over to her. As I get closer, I see the rest of my family as well. I'm a bit confused. Why would China not want to check the top out of the forest for America? Maybe he thinks he's not up here? I don't really know. All I know is that ever since China came into our life, he got really close with May. He would do anything to be with him at all times. I got annoyed a lot when we would do things as a family and May wouldn't come with us. He would stay with China, and I'm not even sure why. Sometimes I wonder if China would force him to, but I'm not sure. Or sometimes if we would go where we would go, sometimes as a family, and China would tag along. I don't mind when we have other cats accompany us, but China never did that. He would only stay next to my brother. I felt as if me and May didn't get as close as we used to be when China tags along on everything. The few days where China was not with us, I would try and spend all of my time with America because I knew I wouldn't be able to do it with him around. I shouldn't have to do that, though. I remember telling America how I didn't like being able to not spend time with him because of China. After that, America would always find ways to let China down easy so he could hang out with me and the rest of the family. But I think China hates me now. He must have told China that I was the reason he wasn't with him a lot. Ever since then, China would just give me these weird looks or sometimes straight-up death glares. I wonder if he wants to find America just to be closer with him. Maybe he thinks he'd be closer to all of the family if he finds him. Fuck, that would happen, I bet. Don't get me wrong, if China or whoever finds my brother, I will appreciate them for the rest of my life. There's just something about China I don't like. I don't know if he wants something from us or wants to hurt us. Maybe he wants to take advantage of America. God, I don't know, and now I'm worried if China finds him. I hope my brother's okay. Boys, I think it's time we take a break and hunt for some food. Then we'll get back on the route. You three will go to the right, and me and your mother will go to the left. My thoughts get distracted after hearing my father's voice. I shouldn't be thinking bad things anyway. Maybe after eating, I'll be able to set my mind straight. Chapter 13. Doing What Must Be Done. China's point of view. I jump on a high rock and look back at Japan. Any sight of them? I ask, while turning forward again. No, can we stop and rest now? It's been forever since we last slept. We only have to rest for 2 hours anyway. he says, looking at me with tired eyes. We can't stop now. We've gotten this far. Resting is almost like quitting at this point. I yell back. China, without sleep, we might as well consider ourselves dead. We don't even know if America's alive. Don't say that! I snap back and jump off the rock to face Japan at an eye level. We're on the right trail. After we passed the waterfall where they were last seen, their sense took us this way, I say, and start walking forward. I hear Japan's paw steps as he comes closer. You know, I wonder who is that cat. They also tried to save America, so they must be friendly. I look at Japan after hearing him say that. Showing my teeth a bit, I reply, trying to hold in my anger. Friendly is bold of you and everyone else to assume. Everyone thinks that of this other cat, but how do we know if that's true? They could have tried to hurt Ame. Japan looks up at me with a bit of a concerned face. How would they be hurting him? Canada was the first to fall in. America jumped in himself to save his brother. God, the more Japan says, the more I want him to shut up. I'm 2 seconds away from yelling how I feel about Canada to him. Yeah, you're right. I should think positive, huh? I bet America is fine, and so is that other cat, I say while putting a small smile on my face. Japan looks up at me in the eyes and smiles back. Exactly. Now, come on. Since you don't want to stop, let's search faster, he says and leaps past me. I can't deal with this anymore. Japan's a sweet cat, but I can't do it. I'm afraid I'll lash out at him on how I feel about this whole situation if he keeps mentioning Canada and the other cat. You know what? Yeah, we should rest. Or, well, he should. I need to get him off my tail, just for a bit, at least. Japan, I think you're right. We should take a break. He looks back at me and smiles once more. I'm not sure what happened to the old China, but I'm starting to like this one more. I chuckle at his comment and watch as he sprints to a big and shady tree. He lays down and looks at me. You coming? He asks. I walk over to him and sit near him. Hopefully this works. I want to search without him, honestly. Don't get me wrong, I respect UK, but when he sent me with Japan, a bit of anger hit. Japan's a great cat, but I didn't want to go on this search with anyone. Sending another cat along is, well, safer, yeah, but with my plans in mind, it's just another inconvenience. I know exactly who that other cat is just by the description of his fur colors and the order they were in. Russia. That asshole. I should have killed him when I had the chance. But that's not important anymore. Or, well, it's not right now. He is somewhere here with America, and I know it. I don't trust that bastard with him. I hope America's okay when I find him. I look over my shoulder and see Japan passed out. Wow, he was really tired. Well, I am tired too, but I won't sleep. No, not yet. I'll be able to fully rest once I find him, I hope. It depends on what troubles I find along the way. I'd be lucky if there's no one else but America when I find him. I get up on all fours and slowly leap past Japan quietly. Sorry, I've got to do this. Besides, he'll be fine. He'll probably find another troop searching wherever they are. I walk by myself and follow the scents that guide me to where both of them could be for 15 minutes before letting my thoughts kick in again. God damn it, why does Russia keep coming back to my mind? I hope him and America parted ways when walking. Sadly, he didn't die because there was no bodies at the end of the waterfall. A small chuckle comes out of me. I remember the good days when me and Russia were good friends. No, we were best friends. We hung out every day, all the time. That was until he started to talk to other cats. That's when he really fucked everything up. He slowly stopped talking to me and shut me out of his life. I remember this day like it was yesterday. I was sitting alone, and out of nowhere he came up to me and asked me, "What's wrong? Are you mad at me? We haven't talked in a while." I hate him for saying those words. I'll never forget them. I lashed out at him for leaving me. How dare he have the audacity to ask me that? He said that it was because I'm jealous, because he hung out with other cats instead of me. Why would I be jealous of them? He left me in the dust. After our long argument, he told me he'd talk to me later. And I will admit, he did try to. But why would I bother listening to him? He would just leave me again, and I know it. Once our friendship parted ways, I was alone for a long time. That was until a rainy and windy night when I met UK and France. I had been traveling home with food, trying to avoid getting stuck in muddy puddles and getting hit in the face with leaves and whatnot, when all of a sudden I heard a voice. I turned around and saw UK. He introduced himself to me and to his wife, who had been further behind him. They invited me to stay with them because of how awful the night was, and because my home was far away. I accepted. I stayed with them overnight and got to meet their sons. I was able to make a good connection with this family, but I felt so close with America. We would spend most time together. I think he could tell I was sad at the time, so that would explain why he did it. Either way, I enjoyed his company. He helped me through all of that pain, now that I think about it. But like all good things, it started to fade. His brothers would get upset when I would hang out with him, especially Canada, because when America would tell me he couldn't hang out, he would always say Canada was the reason. He tried his best to let me down easy, but that didn't stop it from hurting like hell. I kinda stopped liking Canada ever since then. Still do, actually. America doesn't need to know that. All it would do was drag him even further from me. Every time I had the chance to be with America, I would take it. I don't give a shit if it makes others upset. I'm not tolerating the pain and loneliness again. When I heard about America going over the waterfall, I didn't know what to feel anymore. Then finding out Canada was the cause made me hate him even more. But, of course, the cherry on top had to be Russia is down there with him. If I see him, I'm going to get rid of him for good. All that he's done is cause me pain, and possibly America too. Jeez, poor America. Out of all the cats in the world, he's stuck somewhere with him. I need to find a May, and maybe Russia too. I'm not going home empty-handed. I start to sprint across the woods. I've got to find America, and fast before anything else can happen to him. I'm not losing him too. Chapter 14, Soft Flower. Russia's point of view. After the rainstorm, the trails had become quite muddy. At first, it was a bit hard to travel for me due to slipping a lot, but America helped me through it. Besides, trails have gotten easier to travel on as days went by due to drying. The first night of the storm under the tree was actually a bit fun. The rain is calming to look at for me. I would always sit by my den and watch it. I would sometimes fall asleep if I watched long enough. It was nice being able to do that and feel like a kitten again, especially after all I've been through, this whole journey. It's just really relaxing. I know I haven't been through what America has with this whole journey, but still. I think he enjoys the rain too, actually. We talked to each other for a bit while under the tree. He told me more about his brothers and some of their old adventures they had together. Then he asked me about my siblings. "What are they like?" was what he asked. I remember letting the question roll around in my mind before answering. There were so many things I wanted to tell him all at once, but I knew I couldn't. I decided to tell him about our adventures we had as kittens, but when I brought in the topic of my father's death, what he told me, how I acted, and how it affected my siblings, of course, that led to the next topic, my nightmare. I explained to America in it how my siblings didn't want me with them anymore, and how I really did believe it. But when I turned back to face him, he looked at me with sympathy in his eyes, and his ears down. He came closer to me and laid his head down on my chest. I still get a warm feeling inside just thinking about when he did that. I couldn't help but blush when he did. I feel my face getting red while thinking, "Damn it, why?" "Russ, you good down there?" I hear America say from behind me. I just showed him my face. Great. America's point of view. I get to the top of a small grassy hill and see Russia ahead of me walking. I would have kept up with him, but I might as well take more time to explore things while we're down here. After the rain, everything smells fresh to me. I look over at a few small yellow flowers and dandelions in the ground. I bite a flower and carry it in my mouth. I wonder if Russia is exploring too. I look back at him again. Nope, still just walking forward. He seems to be thinking about something, but I'm not sure what. He doesn't look upset, so that's good. I continue to prance down the hill for a couple of minutes before looking back up at Russia. That's odd. His face looks red. I stop in place for a second to look at him. Is he having a heat stroke or something? It's not that hot out due to the rain. I'm confused. I hope he's alright. "Russ, are you good down there?" I yell to him. He turns his face around to me, allowing me to see it all. "Oh, God, should I be concerned, or..." I watch as he quickly turns around to face forward. Oh, yeah, I'm fine," he replies. "Are you sure? We can stop and rest if you need," I say to him. He stops for a minute. I watch as he shakes his head and turns his whole body around to face me. The redness on his face had toned down. "No, that's not necessary. But thanks, though," he says to me, and smiles. I don't know why, but I enjoy seeing him happy a lot. Every time he's happy, it makes me feel comfortable, and I get this warm, fuzzy feeling. I smile back at him and watch as he turns around to keep moving. After about 10 minutes of walking and looking at things, I decide to look back at Russia. His face isn't red anymore, thankfully. He still has a small smile on his face, which is good. Maybe I'll walk next to him. Wait, no. I've got a better idea. An interesting idea. I slowly creep behind him from a small distance. I try to line myself up with him as best as possible. I might as well make this journey fun, right? I continue to walk for a few more seconds before it turns into running. Almost there, almost. Ha-ha! Perfect! I leap in the air and pounce on him from behind. "Ah! What the?" I hear him say before we roll over and I end up on top of him and I smile. "Surprise! How have you been?" I ask while laughing a bit. He gives me a surprised look, but then quickly calms down, realizing it's me. I hear him chuckle before I feel myself getting pushed to the side. "Hey!" I say in a playful manner. After he rolls me over, I look up at him. I try to think of something to say, but instead all I do is laugh. I can't really help it. I open my eyes a bit and see him standing over me, and hear him join me with laughter. After a few seconds, our laughing dies down. I look at him with my eyes half closed due to my glasses getting a bit messed up. He stares at me for a bit while I do the same. I then hear a small, light sound. Wait, is that what I think it is? Purring? Wait, is he purring? Russia's point of view. Oh God, I just got tackled by May. I thought I was getting attacked for a second. Holy shit. I look up at him. Is he holding a flower? He says hello and asks me how I am. I chuckle in response to his question. He's so weird, but it makes me like him more. I roll over and stand over him. He laughs at me doing this. God, he sure does have a contagious laugh, because I can't help but smile. I soon start laughing with him. I stare at him and notice he's looking at me too. The sunglasses on his head are a bit tilted, and his little flower lied on his chest. He looks really cute. I feel my face become warm like before. Russ, I hear America say. Huh? I reply. You're purring. I immediately get off of him after hearing those words leave his mouth. Oh, fuck. No. There is no way I was, doing that. Was I... purring? Damn it, why am I stuttering? I can already feel that my face is beet red. I leap past America and look forward to avoid eye contact with him. We should keep going, I say quietly, in hopes of not messing up my words. I slowly walk before getting pulled to a stop. Russ, do you... I cut him off before he can finish. I don't know what he's going to say, and I don't want him to. Let's not talk about this, please, I say quietly. In the corner of my eye, I see him looking at my face. I turn it to the side in hopes he'd stop. Does it even matter at this point? He already saw me. Twice, actually. Wow, I suck at this. Okay, I won't talk, I hear America say. I look back at him, not caring if my face is still red. Thank you. Let's keep moving, I reply. Yeah, I hear him say. I watch as he picks up his small flower and fixes his glasses. Ready? He says to me with a smile. I smile back at him. We walk for a bit in awkward silence. Or, well, I think it is. He looks fine and happy, but I can't help but still feel embarrassed. I'm so stupid. I'm not sure how this situation makes me stupid, actually, but I feel stupid. As I think to myself over what happened, I feel a small, warm body come next to me. I look down and see America leaning on me as we walk. Why do you do this to me, America? I chuckle in response to this. I'm not sure how to feel anymore. My face is still red, so that's great. I see him look up at me and smile. I like you too, Russia. My ears perk up. I want to stop walking after hearing him say that, but I don't. My heart races and my face turns beet red again after it had started to stop. Oh, God, shit. What do I even say? I look down at America and notice he's looking forward. I see the little flower in his mouth. Wait, I know. I stop walking and he looks up at me. I turn my body to face him. Can I, see that? I point to the flower with my muzzle. Oh, sure, he replies, confused. I lower my face towards his and gently bite the flower by the stem. I take it and place the flower by his right ear. Due to how his sunglasses are put on his head, it should stay. There, I say and smile at him. He looks up at me and chuckles. Thanks, he replies and leans on me again. We start to walk once more, and I can't help but keep glancing over at him from time to time. I don't know how he's taken in all of this so easily. I still feel embarrassed, yet at the same time, comfortable. This is nice. I like it a lot, actually. Please don't end. Chapter 15, Finding and Fixing. America's point of view. Walking alongside Russia was nice. He makes me feel safe. I feel as if I attached to him throughout all of this. At first, I wasn't sure he was even going to like me. All I hoped for was maybe a small and decent friendship, thinking maybe it would be nice because of the situation we're in. But now, I think I got more than that, and honestly, I love it. Russia means a lot to me. I'm not sure where I'd be without him. Although, I'm not sure what's going to happen when we get out of here. Will he leave me? No, I don't think he would. Actually, I don't know. I let the thoughts of Russia stumble in my mind. Being with him makes me happy. I think he's happy being with me, too. There's no need to worry. I'm fine. We're fine. I look up at him and see him turn his head slowly. I smile at him as he does the same. He stops walking, and I watch as his eyes soften. He leans his head down and rubs it against mine, causing me to let out a giggle. I turn my body towards him and put my head up against his chest, closing my eyes to enjoy the moment. I start to purr. This was nice. No, this is wonderful. Never thought I'd end up in a situation like this, but I don't think I could have asked for a better one. As long as I'm here with him, I know I'm going to be okay. I slightly open my eyes and look up to see him looking back at me, still lovesick. I open my mouth to say something, but just then, I see Russia look away from me and feel his body jolt. Does he see something? I look in the same direction he is and start to feel confused. What's going on? I asked. Russia's point of view. In the corner of my eye, I see America still looking at me while we walk, causing me to look at him. He gives me a small smile, causing me to feel nothing but joy. I can't resist it anymore. He's adorable. There's nothing to hold back. I rub my head against his and hear a light laugh. He leans on my chest and starts to purr. I just stare at him, feeling deep in love. He looks back at me, and I watch as he opens his mouth to say something. Before I hear a noise, I perk up and quickly look to my left. What the hell was that? It sounded like paw steps. I'm not sure if another cat is here, but I don't want trouble. Heck, I've already had my fair share of that. What's going on? I hear America say to me. I don't take my eyes off the spot I heard something from. I think someone else is here. I reply calmly to him. He steps back from me slowly. I don't need to look at him to know he's already looking where I am, too. The sounds become louder. Oh, yeah, it's another cat for sure. I don't doubt it. Slowly, I start to see two bright eyes staring at me. Who are you? I say quietly under my breath. My claws come out and I clench my teeth. Not even a few seconds later, I watch as the figure leaps out from the trees and jumps at me head on. I feel my body move from where I originally stood. It feels as though I was flung miles away. Russ, I knew I'd find you! I refrained from using my claws after hearing those words. Their voice sounded so familiar. I look up at the cat before being pushed to the ground by them. No way. Holy shit. Belarus? I yelled back at her. I only saw her for a few seconds before another figure jumped and pushed her out of the way. Quickly, I got up on my paws and looked to my right. It was America. America, don't! I yelled and ran over to him. I saw him look back at me and his claws in the air, not sure what to do. She's my sister, I said calmly, and stopped in my tracks, just staring at him. America's point of view. I watched the cat pounce on my boyfriend with terror. I don't know who the fuck this cat is, but I'm not letting anything happen to him on my watch. While running over to Russia, I heard the other cat say something, but I'm not sure what. I pushed them off of him from the side and pinned them to the ground, hissing at them. I unsheathed my claws. Right before taking a swing, I heard Russia's voice, calling at me. After hearing him tell me not to hurt them, I was confused for a second. I'm not sure what to do. She's my sister, the one I told you about. I heard him yell. His sister? Why would she be here? They all live on the other side of the river, or at least that's what I was told by Russia. Wait, what? Wow, that's really all I knew to say? Yes, don't hurt her, please. He told me with a calm tone. I watched as he stopped in his track and put his ears back. I turned my head back and looked at his sister. She had terror in her eyes, I could tell. I retracted my claws and got off of her. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were... She cut me off. No, it's okay. I shouldn't have come off to Russ like that. I knew I saw another cat with him. I'm glad you both stayed together, she said, and got up on all fours. Wait, stay together? What do you mean? You knew about us being down here? I heard Russia say as he walked to stand by my side. Of course I knew. Almost every cat did. I heard her reply, and watched as she turned to face me again. You must be America. Your father is UK, right? She asked. Yes. Is my family okay? I responded immediately. Yeah, they're all doing well. Your father was able to get cats help search for you. He sent troops in hopes they would. We heard about there being another cat who fell down the waterfall as well. After hearing a few descriptions, we knew it was you, Russ, she said, facing him. Cats were afraid you two would have been separated, and we would have less of a chance of finding you both. After hearing the news, me and Ukraine went out to find you on our own. And guess what? Here you are, she said, smiling at him. She walked towards him and rubbed her head against his. We missed you so much, Russia, she told him before looking up and continued to smile. I watched as he smiled back, but it quickly faded. Wait, you said Ukraine is here too. Where is he? Russia asked. Oh my god, we need to look for Ukraine. He needs to know you're alive. Come on, she yelled and started to run into a huge wave of trees. We both quickly followed behind. I don't think we've properly met. I'm Belarus, Russia's sister. I heard her yell at me while we ran. Yeah, he's told me about you. It's nice to finally meet you, I replied and smiled at her. Ukraine is our brother. I think you'll both get along. I couldn't help but notice your little flower you had. He's a flower guy too. I looked at Russia after hearing her say that, and smiled at him. He smiled back, and I let out a small laugh. After running for what felt like forever, I stared up to see a figure ahead. I watched as Belarus stopped, causing me and Russia to as well. The cat turned around, showing his face. He had a flower crown on, made out of pastel flowers. Wow, he really does like them. Ukraine, I found him, she said, nearly out of breath. I watched as his jaw began to drop. Russ, I'm so sorry our last conversation wasn't the best, I heard him say before Russia quickly ran over to him and pushed him into his chest. He gave him a big hug and put one paw on Ukraine's shoulder. I'm sorry too, I heard Russia say. He looks like he's gonna cry, honestly. Actually, they both do. I wonder what their last conversation was before the waterfall now. Maybe another fight? I don't know, but I'm glad they're making up. I love you both so much, I heard Russia say as he pulled his sister into their hug, fixing the bow that was in between her left and right ear. Oh, this is great. I'm happy for them. I couldn't help but smile after seeing this. After a bit, I watched as Russia opened his eyes and looked at me. This is America, the cat that had troops sent out for him, he said to Ukraine. I watched as Ukraine pulled away from the hug and walked over to me. It's nice to meet you. I'm Ukraine, but I guess you already knew that, he said and smiled. Thank you for staying with my brother. I can already tell you've helped him a lot throughout this whole situation by just being here. Yeah, well, he's definitely helped me a lot too. I don't know what would have happened to me without him. You have an amazing brother, you know? I said while looking over at Russia, and noticed him still smiling at me. Ukraine chuckled in response. Yeah, he sure is something, he said before turning to face his siblings. Oh, by the way, I like the flower thing you've got going there, he said as he kept walking. Thanks, I replied and walked over as well. Chapter 16. Hello again. Russia's point of view. I had no idea you were looking for us, I told my sister calmly. Of course we would. You're our brother. Why wouldn't we search? Well, I wasn't exactly the nicest to you guys before this happened, I said and looked down, ashamed of what had happened. Russ, just because we have an argument doesn't mean we don't love you anymore. Besides, fighting over stupid shit is pretty normal in our family. You just have to remind yourself that they still love you. Or at least, that's what I do, she said and smiled before facing away. Those words. I've been making things so hard on them that they have to remind themselves I still love them. They shouldn't have to do that. They should know all the time that I love them. I leaned into Belarus and hugged her once again. I love you. I hope I can be a better brother to you. She slowly pushed away from the hug and looked up at me like she was going to say something. So, what's going on over here? I hear Ukraine say. I turned my head to the side and looked at him. Nothing, I say with a smile. How long have you both been searching down here? America asked. Well, when we found out about you being lost, we were worried. Russ was too. We decided to wait one day to see if you would come back home, and when you didn't, we left and went searching. I watched as Belarus walked forward and stood next to him. I'm sorry we fought, Ukraine. I'm sorry for everything I've done to both of you, I said, putting my ears back slowly, letting the pain hit me once more. They must have noticed, because America came and rubbed his head under my chest and started to purr. I felt my face become red. I let out a soft smile, enjoying the affection. "Wait, are you two together or something?" Ukraine asked. I completely forgot about them being here, and it's been a second. Wow, they don't even know about us yet. This is just great. Well, I guess you could say, Wow, are you kidding me? I try to speak, and that's all that comes out? Incredible. Can I just die right now? I look at the ground, embarrassed, and hear America laugh. Yeah, we are. I hear him say calmly to them. I look up and see him smiling at me. Aw, that's awesome, you two, Belarus said and smiled. Thanks, I say in reply. Well, now that we found you two, I think we better get out of here. I'm not sure where you live, America, but I bet we can find it once we get uphill. There's 2 ways to get back up, considering how far out we are. I think it's best if we keep traveling forward. The other way should be closer, Belarus said. Wait, how do you know so much about this place? We've never been down here, I asked. Sometimes Dad would come out here when we were small, and one time I got to go with him. Usually it was in the winter when he came in hopes of finding food if it was scarce back at home. My mind's still a bit foggy down here, but I do remember there being 2 ways because Dad always made sure to remind me in case I got lost from home. Wow, I feel stupid now. I could have known the way back if I had went out with Dad more in the winter. That would be great if you all could help me when we get back. Thank you, America said. Of course, Belarus replied and leaped out of the trees. We all followed behind as she took lead. Russ, I heard Ukraine say to me. Yes, I replied. I'm sorry for everything I've done too. I hope we can move forward and become better. Hearing him say that made me smile. I put my head against his. I know we will, I replied and saw him smile back at me. He then walked next to Belarus and started to talk to her. I looked back at America. You coming? I asked him while smiling. Yeah, I'm just giving you all a moment. Are you guys good now? Definitely, I replied and looked forward at my siblings. I think this time it will really change for the better. Ukraine point of view. I walked next to my sister and looked back at my brother once more. I noticed him talking to America. That made me smile. So, are we going to talk about them? I asked Belarus quietly. Of course. How can we pass over that? She replied. Did you know Russ was a gay? No, not a clue. To be honest, I didn't think he even wanted a relationship with anyone in a romantic way. He never talked about relationships with us or that he liked anyone. Do you think he knew Amay before all this? She asked me. Maybe, but I'm not sure. He's never talked about America. But like you said, he never talked about relationships with us, I replied. Well, I'm glad he found someone. I like America. He's nice. Even though Russia seems sad and angry to us most of the time, he does have a heart, and I'm sure is lovable. Yeah, you're right. Maybe Amay will help him feel happier. He definitely seemed happy when he saw us. I said, That's because he was happy to see us. It's been a while since we've seen him like this. I think it's nice, don't you? She asked. Yeah, it is, I replied to her. I looked back at the two once more. America is nice. I know Russ has been sad due to our past, so seeing him like this is great. It's a relief, honestly. I don't know what would happen if he was sad forever. Maybe America will become a part of our family. That wouldn't be bad. No, wait, he has a family of his own. Will we all be family? Would his family even be okay with this? I don't know. I'm not sure if I should be thinking about this, though. Getting back home should be the main concern. I'm glad they're both happy. I know it makes me and my sister, too. America's point of view. I walked next to Russia while following his siblings. I think they like me, thankfully. They're really sweet cats, and I'm glad they're all okay with each other now. Your siblings are really nice. I'm glad you all are good with each other, I told Russia. Me too, he said while smiling. I watched as he faced the ground. I think he's glad there's no longer bad blood between them all. Hey, can I tell you something? I asked him. He hummed and looked over at me. I love you, I told him and smiled. I could already feel my face become a little bit red after saying that. He smiled back at me and became a bit red too. I love you too, Mary, he replied. Mary. Wow. I haven't been called that name in forever. I felt my smile go away. Ame? Are you okay? I heard Russia ask. I looked over at him. Oh, yeah, I'm fine, I said and let out a small chuckle. Did I do something wrong? He asked me and put his ears back. Oh, great. Now he thinks this is his fault. No, you're fine. It's just the name Mary. I haven't been called in forever. Only 2 other cats in my life have ever called me it. My mother when I was little, and an old friend. Oh, I'm sorry if I offended you by saying it, he told me and looked back at the ground. No, it's okay. You can call me it if you want. I don't mind. I think it's cute, I told him. He smiled in reply and rubbed his head against mine. We continued to walk as I let my thoughts run through my mind. China used to call me that all the time. He's a really kind cat. I wonder if he was one of the cats sent out to search for me that Belarus talked about. Guys, I think we have a problem, I hear Ukraine say, making me snap out of my thoughts. Oh, great. What is it now? Russia's point of view. I hope America isn't too mad at me for calling him Mary. He says he isn't, but it definitely made him feel something. I'm not sure what, though. Guys, something's wrong, I hear Belarus say. What is it? I ask. Ukraine thinks he sees someone, she replies and looks in the direction he is. Oh, great, not again. I already had my sister jump at me. Who the hell is it now? I look forward and look straight ahead. Yep, the figure looks like a cat. Well, this is amazing luck, isn't it? Look, whoever you are, we don't want any trouble, okay? I say loudly. The figure slowly moved forward, becoming clearer. Their fur seems to be fully red. Soon, they start running towards us. I don't know if they're trying to fight us or what, but we don't have time for this shit. I put out my claws, ready to attack. Wait, what? They're slowing down. Who are you? Belarus yells at them. Oh no. Oh hell no. You've got to be fucking with me. Hello, China says. Chapter 17, Lovebirds and Hate. Russia's point of view. I fucking hate everything. Out of every cat in the world, we run into him. Ugh, I'm not ready for this bullshit. We should just keep moving and pretend we never saw him. China? Oh my god, it's really you. I hear America say. What? He knows him? I watch as he weeps past me and runs up to China, rubs his head against his. What the actual fuck is going on anymore? Are you a friend of America's? Ukraine asks. Yes, he's my best friend, if anything, he says and stares at me. Let me introduce myself. I'm China, which I assume you could already tell, he said and looked back at America, smiling. Wait, weren't you friends with my brother, Russia? Belarus asked. Everyone was dead silent for a second before China started to talk again. Yes, we were, he said and gave me another dirty look. I don't know why he's acting like this. I tried to fix our friendship. He's the one who didn't want anything to do with me anymore. You two know each other? Russ, why didn't you tell me that? That's awesome, America said and walked back to me. I know America doesn't know the history between me and China, but I love seeing him happy like this. America rubs his head on my chest, causing me to look up at China. I watch as his facial expression quickly changes from a happy smile to confused and almost disgusted look. For some reason, this just makes me smile even more. Maybe this won't be so bad after all. China's point of view. I watch as America rubs against Russia's chest. Well, it looks like they're friends too. Or maybe even more than that. Actually, no. There's never anyone who's closer with America than me. I shouldn't even be questioning this, really. There's no point. I knew I'd find Russia, and that's all I need. Sadly, his siblings are here too, so that's a bit of a letdown. So, how did you all come across each other? I asked. Well, for starters, me and Russ found the waterfall, and stayed with each other since then. Then we ran into Belarus and Ukraine, not too long ago actually, and now here we are, America replied. Yep, we were out looking for a brother, and we found the two lovebirds, Ukraine said, causing Belarus and America to giggle. I chuckle in response. Lovebirds? I asked, a bit confused. Is he saying what I think he's saying? Yeah, we're together now, America says, and leans his body on Russia. I watch as Russia puts his head on top of America's. There's no one else I'd rather be with, Russia says to America, causing him to smile. I feel the anger in me start to boil. Oh, hell no. This is not happening. What the fuck? I already hated Russia, but now I hate him even more. I didn't know I could. Wow. America's my best friend, and he's taking that away from me. It's all I have, and he's taking it. I didn't do shit to him. I bet it's because I didn't want to be his friend again. Yeah, that's it. Well, fuck this. I'm not giving up that easy. I watch as Russia smiles at me. That motherfucker. Oh, that's wonderful for you two. I'm so happy for you. Both of you. I say and smile. Thanks, Russia says and wraps his tail around America's. I let my claws come out and show my teeth a bit. I'm about to kill this bitch right here and now, if he does one more fucking thing. He's hurt me before and is trying to again. I know he'll do the same to America, and I'm not gonna let anyone hurt him. Not trying to be rude or anything, but we have to get back home. It was nice to see you, but we'll be on our way, Ukraine said. Oh, I can show you the way back. I don't live down here. I was sent to go find America with other troops. Didn't everyone have a partner, though, that they came down with? At least that's what I heard, Belarus said. Well, yes, but I got sent out on my own, I replied. Oh, we know the way back up, so you don't need to show us, but you're welcome to come with us if you like, I guess, Belarus said. Perfect. I'd love to, I replied and stood beside her. You keep leading the way. Don't mind me, I said and smiled. I looked behind and saw America leaning on him. Feeling a bit ticked off, I tried to remain calm. America, weren't you hurt from the fall? I asked and stood still. This caused them to split and left me in the middle. No, surprisingly. I mean, I felt dizzy at first, but nothing more than that. Once Rus helped me get on my paws, I was okay. Why does he have to keep mentioning him? I'm glad you're okay. Everyone was worried, especially me, I said and rubbed half of my face against his. He chuckled in response and slowly pulled away from me. It's nice to see you again, he said to me, and then turned his head to keep walking. Belarus's point of view. Ukraine, let's move up, I whispered to my brother. He nodded his head in response, and we quickly walked forward, away from everyone else. Do you remember China? I asked him. At first, I completely forgot about him and how he and Rus were friends until you said it. Yeah, we're friends. They're not anymore. And that's the problem. He didn't want Rus in his life anymore, and now he's standing next to him, I said and watched as Ukraine looked back at them all. That's true. He's close with the May, so maybe that's why he's acting nice? Ukraine replied. Maybe, but there's just something off about him, and I don't know what, I said and looked back at China one last time. Sis, we'll be fine. Plus, if anything does happen, we've all got each other, Ukraine told me and smiled. Yeah, you're right. We'll be fine, I said and continued to walk down the trail. There's something weird about China. I don't know what, but I just feel it. Maybe he is a nice guy now, but he didn't end off on good terms with my brother. Maybe he's trying to regain a friendship with him? I don't really know. I just want to get home. As time passed, the darker it got. I yawned, causing Ukraine to as well. Hey, how about we all stop and continue to travel tomorrow? We all seem pretty tired, and we'll be home early if we rest, China said and stopped in place. Oh, okay, that sounds good to me, America replied. I guess we could. The rocky hill we need to get is a bit far from here, I said and sighed. Exactly. Come on, I'll find us a good spot to lay at, China said. How about we hunt for some food before the sunset goes while you find us a spot? I asked China. All right, meet back here in 10, he said and leaped off on his own. All right, Ukraine, let's go. Russ and America are together, I'm sure, I said and smiled at the two. Thank you, Russia mouthed to me, and I nodded in return. I don't think Russia wants a relationship with China at all. He seems to be happy to be away from him. And honestly, I can't blame him. My gut tells me otherwise too. Chapter 18. The sun goes down and the claws come out. America's point of view. China led us all off-road from the clear path to a spot of trees. The ground had been covered with a few fallen leaves. It was a shady and cool area. A perfect spot for resting, if you ask me. We should nest here. There's a small stream near it, too, China said, looking back at us for approval. All right, I like it. Do you guys? Ukraine said. Me and Belarus nodded our heads in reply. It's all right, I guess, Russia said. Perfect, China replied and smiled. All right, let's catch something before we lose sunset. May? Will you come with me? Russia asked me. Sure. Me and Ukraine will go together, Belarus said to us. After making our groups, we both headed off in different directions. Me and Russia went left, while Ukraine and Belarus went right. When I turned around, I heard paw steps follow. Turning my head, I saw China looking at me. Hey, how about you guard the resting area or hunt elsewhere? We already have 2 cats on this trail, I heard Russia say from behind me. I watched as China's ears went back and his face slowly filled with an angry emotion. Yeah, you're right. Someone needs to keep watch, he replied to Russia and leaped off to the small stream of water he had talked about. I looked back at Russia and saw him smile, then continue to walk. What the hell? We barely met. How could these two already have something against each other? I don't know anymore. What Russia did seemed a bit off to me. It was kind of rude. As we ran together, I waited till we got further into the forest before asking about it. I'm going to look for the birds as usual. Meet back here when you catch something, okay? He told me and rubbed his head against mine. Russ, why did you diss China like that? I asked and looked at him curiously. He slowly moved his head back and looked at me. May, there's some things about China I should probably tell you. China's point of view. I ran towards the stream and waited till I saw the fish swimming by. After catching it, I took the spot and sat there waiting for everyone to return. The anger in me grew stronger, thinking about what the Russian had told me. Although America seemed a bit concerned after hearing him say that. He's too kind, too pure. That's why he can't see what I'm going to do. Russia's not going to see another living day, and I'll make sure of it. Yeah, America probably won't like this, but he'll be okay. I'll be there for him. After about 10 minutes of waiting, I finally heard more paw steps. Oh, it's just the siblings. I watched as they both walked closer to me. If anyone wants some fish, they can take some, I told them. Thank you, but I'm okay with my mouse I caught, Ukraine said in reply. Yeah, I'm alright too,
Belarus replied, and the two of them sat down next to each other. I admired the bird she'd caught, considering it was so big, though I'm not sure what type of bird it is. After the two had finished eating, nightfall came, and so did America and Russia. I noticed how America had nothing with him. "Well, there you two are. I was almost worried," I said, and looked at America with a smile on my face, hoping to receive one back. "Yeah, I didn't have much luck finding anything," America replied quietly. He looked at the ground and moved his paw slightly. He looked so sad. "Oh, don't worry, I saved you some fish," I told him. Maybe he'll be happy now. I watched as he moved his head slightly to look at me. "That's okay, I'm not hungry," he said, and walked away towards a spot that was a bit distant from me. I watched as Russia followed behind him and sat next to him. What the hell did he tell America? Damn it, he's trying to ruin our relationship. I got up to go over to them before hearing a voice call me. "So, China, do you live near the river uphill?" Belarus asked me. "Yes, why?" I replied and turned my head towards her. "Well, I noticed you caught a fish, so I assumed you had some sort of hunting skill with them. It would make sense if you lived near the river," she said. I didn't always live by the river. For a while, I lived far from it. I only learned... I cut myself off. Wait, what am I doing? I need to go see May. "You know what? How about I tell you guys this another time?" I said and backed away. "What? No, you can't cut us off. Come on, tell us," Ukraine said. "Yeah!" Belarus joined in. What have I gotten myself into? Russia's point of view. I don't understand. Why would he not want to regain his friendship with you? And why would he be a jerk instead? America asked me. I swallowed a bite of my food to answer. I don't know. He doesn't like me anymore, even though I tried to fix everything between us. Yeah, but still, even if he didn't want to be friends with you anymore, he could at least have acted like a decent cat, America said quietly. I looked down at the bird, then back at America. You should eat, I replied and nudged it towards him. Thank you. I'll save you some, he said, then took a small bite. No, eat it all if you want. I don't mind, I told him. I began to lick my paws one at a time. I watched as America ate the bird and couldn't help but feel bad for him. He's known China for such a long time as a good friend, but he never told him the history with me. With my nose, I pushed his glasses off the top of his head so that they would land on his face. I started to groom him, and he smiled in reply. We talked to each other for a bit more before my sister walked over. Hey, it's getting late. We should sleep now if we want to get back early. May, you never told us how funny China was. He's got some great stories, all right? She told us. After a moment of silence and no reply from America, I walked towards her. Yeah, you're right. It's best if we go to sleep. Good night, I told her and rubbed my head against hers. Good night, America told her from where he was laying. Good night, you two, she said and walked off to lay down near Ukraine. China was laying down across from them. I just hope to get this night over with. Maybe when we get back uphill, America will come stay with me and my siblings for a little bit. That would be nice. I laid down next to America and wrapped my tail around him. He smiled and closed his eyes. I waited till everyone was asleep before I did. China stayed awake for a while before finally closing his eyes. Good. Now I can too. Chapter 19. The Bloodbath with Fireflies. China's point of view. After 30 minutes of waiting, it's time. I'm ready. I open my eyes and see everyone asleep. Ukraine is snoring lightly, so he's out for sure. I stand up slowly and look straight at him. There he is. The only cat I need. I step closer and see a tail flick, except it isn't America's. It's Russia's. He's really close to him. How do I get him out of here? I walk towards America's face and crouch down next to his resting body. Amay! I whisper to him. No response. I lightly shake his shoulder in hopes only he wakes up. Amay, wake up! I say once more. Finally, I see his eyes begin to open slowly. What? He says softly. It's me, China. Come on, we've got to go. I reply. What? Where? Are we leaving already? He says quietly with a sleepy tone. No, but there's something I want to show you. He slowly gets up, and I stand up. Please don't wake Russia up, America. Once he gets up, he slowly walks towards me. I bite his glasses, and he fell down with them on his head. Hopefully, you can see now, I whisper jokingly. He looks up at me, and then back down. He still has the same facial expression. The one he gave me earlier. That sad one. I move my body close to his side. What do you want to show me? He whispers. He rubs his eye with one paw. Come, follow me, I say, and leap off into the distance, passing by Ukraine and Belarus. We run across the small stream, making a few splashes. I look back to see that America is still with me. I feel bad I have to do this to him, but it's the only way. Are we almost there? He asks. I guess he's not tired anymore. He just seems a bit annoyed. I can't really blame him, though. I'd be upset, too. Yeah, just up this small hill and over. I leap onto the top, and he follows behind. He looks at me confused. Well, what are you looking at me for? I say and turn my head forward, causing him to as well. Wait, are those fireflies? He asks me and moves a bit forward. I smile and look back at him. Yeah, you always said how you wanted to see them when we were younger. I could never really find any uphill, but when coming down here, I noticed some. I walked back closer to him and watched as he ran down into the patch. Wow, this is incredible, he said loudly. I made my way down and noticed how some fireflies had already landed onto me. He had 2 of them sitting on his glasses. Thank you for this, China, he said quietly to me and walked around some more in awe of all of them. After a bit of walking, I sat down and was surprised to see America sit next to me. I can't believe you even remembered me talking about these. I never talked about them a lot. I chuckled in response. I'm glad you like it. He looked into the sky and watched as the fireflies mixed with the moonshine. I stared at him and lowered my head to groom his neck. He smiled and looked to the side. I wish this could last forever. I'll be right back. You stay here, okay? I told him and stood up. Where are you going? To get something for you. Oh, okay, he replied and continued to look around.
I leaped back over the hill and ran back into the patch full of trees. Perfect. Now that America is distracted, there's less cats near Russia. I'm not sure what to do with the siblings, though. I don't have much time either. Maybe I can tell them I saw other cats up ahead, and we should get moving, just in case something could happen. I didn't have much time to make a full thought-out plan. Oh well, at least I remembered seeing those fireflies. "Where is he?" said a loud and clear voice. I'm so confused. Who the hell is out here now? Well, maybe I was right, and there actually is someone. The figure stepped out of the shadows in the trees. It was none other than Russia. Ah, well, this is perfect. Just lovely. Russia's point of view. "Where is he?" I said in a strong tone, facing China. He's just standing there, staring at me like a fool. "Where is he?" I yelled. "Answer me, goddammit!" Amazed with me. "Why, do you have a problem with that?" He replied and smiled. "Fuck you." "Yeah, no shit, I have a problem with it. You just sneak away with him and think that's okay? What did you think? I wouldn't notice? You gave me no fucking reason to trust you with anyone or anything, not anymore." I watched as he walked closer to face me evenly. I can do whatever I want. You act like whatever you say goes. I'm not sure why you're even with America. You don't even treat a cat fucking decently. That's why you always hung out with me, because everyone hated you and didn't want to be around you. Heck, even sometimes I didn't, but at least I was trying to be a good friend. Once he's been around you long enough, he'll know he's made a mistake like every other fucking cat who's ever been in your life. China yelled at my face. No one's point of view. You don't even know the half of what I've been through. You hold me to one mistake I made with you. I tried to fix everything, but you can't even fucking man up and let it go. Russia said with an angry tone. China's anger filled his body, rage that couldn't be held back anymore. He let his claws protract from his toes before swiping them across the left side of Russia's face. Nah, what the hell, man? Russia yelled back in anger. We're not friends, and it looks like we never were, China says loudly before lunging his body at Russia. China's claws grasped onto his chest as they both fell to the ground. Russia swiftly pushed China out of the way with one paw and quickly got on his feet. China jumped at Russia's side, slamming him into a tree. From Russia's view on the ground, all he could see was China's legs and his paws. He bit his left leg and sunk his teeth in deeply. He hit him in the face with the other paw in response. When Russia's grip got loose, blood quickly gushed from the bite on China's leg. Russia got up and leaped forward a bit into a body slam, China out of the way and to the left. He jumped up on top of him, causing China to grasp his claws onto Russia's side and cut him deeply. Russia yowled in pain as he felt the cuts become longer and deeper. China quickly turned his body and ran out from underneath him. He ran deeper into the woods, with Russia following right behind. Russia leaped once more onto China's back and sank his teeth into a scruff of his neck. China quickly lost balance, causing them both to slide down the small flowing stream. Quickly, China got up and looked to his right and saw a huge rock. He grabbed Russia by the side of his neck and sunk his teeth in, causing blood to flow from it. He slammed his head against the rock, causing his hat to fall off to the side. He banged his head against the rock multiple times, making Russia almost lose consciousness. Russia looked to the side. A blurry figure bit China from the left side of his neck and threw him to the ground. He shook his head and slowly moved off the rock to stand. He saw America biting China's jaw and blood flowing from his mouth. "Amay!" Russia shouted and ran towards him. America looked back with his mouth still locked on China's lower jaw, giving China the chance to push him away. America fell to the ground and was greeted with a lash of his claws hitting his lower back. Russia quickly became filled with even more anger and bit China under his left front leg and sank his claws into his stomach and back. He threw China away from them, causing him to slide, moving the gravel. Russia quickly ran to America and helped him back up. They both looked back at China, and before Russia could say anything, America was already running towards him. China unleashed his claws once more and hissed at America, who finally had lunged his body at him. America tried to grasp his claws onto a body, but there was nothing. He opened his eyes and realized China wasn't there. He was just laying there in the dirt. America got up and looked back and saw Russia just staring at him. "Where did he go?" America yelled, full of confusion. Before America could hear an answer from Russia, a large yowling and grunting came from the stream close by. America ran to Russia, and they quickly made it to the stream. When they leapt in, they continued to follow the noises. They saw a cat in the shaded part of the stream, finding China, who was in the moonlight. "Don't move," Russia whispered, and together they stood back in the shaded trees. America was confused and wanted to go out and help until he turned his head to the two cats again. The one was choking China with the little flowing water by shoving his face in it with their paw. They watched as their once beloved friend slowly started to fade. His energy began to wind down with the more water he inhaled. The cat didn't speak. Instead, they just stared at him suffering. America and Russia watched until he moved no more, and his body was limp. America moved back after seeing this, but Russia kept his eyes on the cat in the shadows. They were only able to see the color of the cat's paws, which were red and blue. The cat started to cough. A slight liquid came out of their chest. They assumed it was blood. America walked out of the shadows and closer to the cat. Russia looked unsure of what to do and stayed still. The sounds of water moving from America's paws caused the other cat to turn their head. The cat walked out of the shaded area and into the lighted stream. America froze at the sight of seeing their face. "Mom?" he cried to her. I was all she said before slowly falling into the stream, lying opposite sides from China. Chapter 20. Family reunions and a lot of questions. America's point of view. There's no way in hell. This can't be real. This can't be happening. I run towards my mom's side and look at her lying there, slowly breathing. I just want to cry right now, but there's no time. I gently bite the scruff of her neck and drag her out of the flowing stream. In the corner of my eye, I see China lying there, not moving. I don't want to get any closer to his body. I look at my mom's twitching paw and then down at her stomach. A large wound was cut there. It was still open and bleeding. "Russ, I need you to find some leaves, and fast," I say calmly, in hopes to not panic. Without looking up, I already hear Russia's paws running into the trees. The sound starts to fade. "Amay?" I hear her say. I lower my head down towards hers. "I'm here, Mom. I'm here," I say quietly. I watch as she tries to get up and groans. Mom, no, don't move. It will only make it worse, I tell her. Don't worry. Russia's going to get some leaves. You'll be all right. Russia, he's with you? She questions. Before I could answer, I heard paw steps coming towards us. I got the leaves, Russia said, out of breath. He dropped some next to me. We should put some water on them. I'm not sure if her wound is infected, but it might be. It'd be best if we clean it. I nodded in reply and placed the leaves in the stream while keeping a good hold on them. This might sting, I heard Russia say to her. She winced at the slight sting before putting her head down. I put my head against her and smiled. I love you. I love you too, she replied and closed her eyes. All right. I covered the wound as best as I could with leaves. The bleeding seems to be slowing down. In a bit, I'll replace them with dry ones, I heard Russia say. I looked up at him and then back down at my mom. I let everything rush through my mind before I sat down next to her, allowing the tears to roll down my face. Russia's point of view. I looked back at China's body and put my ears down. I know he didn't like me anymore, but he was still once my friend. My best friend. I wouldn't have been able to suffocate him. The death would be too slow to watch in the moment, and knowing it would be coming from my own claws makes it worse. But she had a connection with China too, so how was she able to do it? She cared for him. She has some kind of strength that I don't understand or know where to find. I turn my head and look forward at America, who is crying. LeMay, it's going to be all right, I say softly and sit next to him. I know, he said and leaned his head against my chest. After a moment of silence, France opened her eyes once more. Amay, they're there. They're coming, she said. What does she mean? Who's coming, Mom? He asked her. Your father and your brothers. They're there. I looked at America and saw his eyes widen. Russia, go get Belarus and Ukraine. I need to find my family. They have to be nearby. He perked his head up and then looked down again. Never mind. I can't leave her here. No. Go get them, she said quietly. I get up quickly. I'm going to get my family. Go find yours, I said before sprinting across the stream and deep into the forest. I saw my brother and sister still asleep. I nudged them both with my paws, hopefully to wake them up. Ukraine, Belarus, get up. We've got to go now. Half asleep, Ukraine got up. Huh? Where's May and China? He yawned. There's no time to explain. France found us and the May's now looking for the rest of his family. I yell. I watch as Belarus gets up and Ukraine informs her about France being here. They both follow me through the dark forest and into the stream with a beaming moonlight. What the hell? I hear Belarus say, and notice she's looking at the body in the stream. Who are you? Says a voice from across. I turn my head and see them. All of them. All of his family around France. All of them are here, except May. I'm Russia, and these are my siblings, Ukraine and Belarus. You're America's father. UK, I assume? Yes. You know my son? He asks. Yes, and he went to go find you all, so now I'm gonna go find him, I say, and run past them all into the fields before anyone can ask me something. I hope France can inform them on what happened, and if not, I will when we get back. America's point of view. I run up the field that China took me to. Come on, they have to be here somewhere. They're somewhere close. They have to be. Dad? I yell and continue to run. I yell all their names and get no response. Soon I start to hear paw steps running. Maybe it's them. I turn my head and see Russia running up the hill. I wasn't too far out, but why is he coming to me? Lemay, they're with your mom, all of them. Come on, he yells. I feel my heart race hearing those words. I run past him and over the hill. I pick up the pace and make it to the stream where I see them all. I stop running and try to speak, but before I can, Canada jumps up at me and tackles me to the ground in a hug. I see my other brothers and father join in. May, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. Oh, my God. I thought you were dead. Canada yells and wraps his paws around me. I'm okay, I say softly and smile. I look at our mom while hugging him. I slowly unwrap myself from his grip and walk towards her. We need to get Mom home. There's no time to waste. Wait, what about China? What happened to him? New Zealand asks. I look at the body one more time before walking to it. I grab him by the scruff and drag him to the other side of the stream. He's not our friend anymore, I say quietly before walking across. I look at Russia and then at my mom again. We'll tell you what happened, but first, let's help Mom sit up. Chapter 21. Explanations. Russia's point of view. I stand back and watch as Australia and UK run up in front of me and help me to nudge France in the sitting position. Once she is finally sitting, she curls her tail around her front paws. I watch as she breathes slowly due to the wound on her stomach. She looks at the ground in an almost embarrassed way. So, what happened? New Zealand asked. I look over at America and we exchange glances. He signals to me that he wants to talk. You all know China was close to us. As a matter of fact, he was part of our family, but he kept something secret, making it to lead to this. He didn't like Russia and wanted to kill him. I don't know if he held something against any of us, too. He spoke and then looked away. The pain in his voice was making it easy to tell he didn't want to go into detail. At least, not on his own. I got into a fight with him last night, and sadly, America got dragged into it. I'm sorry. I mumbled, keeping it brief for America's sake. There was a moment of silence before another cat spoke. You two had a history together, I assume. UK asked me, wanting to know more. Yes, we were close friends, actually. But one day it all changed, and that's when the hatred started. I didn't want to fight him, but he wouldn't stop. I watched as UK opened his mouth to talk, but before he could, France slowly got on all fours. I believe you, she said, and looked into my eyes. I saw him fighting my son. I wasn't sure why, because he was sent to find him. I jumped in, and that's when he went to attack me. I didn't want to fight, but... You had to, I cut in. Yes, she replied, and looked down at the floor again. I looked towards America and saw his brother, Canada, leaning on him. I could tell he had pain in his heart, but it was finally healing when being reunited with his brother. He looked up at me, causing eye contact. Russia, I'm so sorry. It's my fault. Both you and my brother had to face this, he said, and walked towards me. I rubbed my head on the side of his and looked him in the eyes once more. Don't be sorry. Ame told me how the whole situation happened. You didn't mean to break the bridge. It was an accident. And we're all here now. Let yourself go at these. After that, I watched as a big smile appeared on his face. He put one paw over me for a hug. I watched as he then walked back to sit by his mother this time. America's point of view. Hearing Russia say that to Canada made me feel happy. I smiled at him from afar and watched as he came to sit next to me. He leaned his head on top of mine, and I pushed my face into his chest. Do you think you can walk? I heard my dad ask my mom. Yes, but I'm going to be slow. We shouldn't stay here any longer, so let's get moving, she replied. I moved my head away from Russia and perked up my ears. Are we going? I asked. I saw my mom and my dad look at me, and then everyone else. We think it's best if we leave here tonight, my father said. Everyone can stay and rest at our dens when we get back, France added. I looked over at Ukraine and Belarus. I noticed the two look at each other, then nod in agreement to what my parents had said. I watched as Canada stood at our mom's side in case she needed any help. I got up, and so did Russia. Mom started to walk slowly with Dad and Canada on each of her sides. Aussie, New Zealand, Ukraine, and Belarus all took the lead to each other. Me and Russia walked behind everyone. Russia didn't mind being in the back as long as he was with me. He rubbed the side of his body against mine and smiled. I looked up and saw a warm blush appear on his face. I wish I could have done the same, but everything that happened was still on my mind. I think it's on Russia's too, but he's trying to cover it. I looked down and put my ears back. I couldn't help but feel sad and a bit scared after what went down. Hey, I heard Russia say. I looked back up with my ears still pinned back. I know that this is all moving really fast. I'm still processing what happened too, so is your mom, I bet. But we've got to get back to a safer area before any more things can happen. I didn't say anything for a moment and just kept moving. You're right, was all I could manage to say. Russia and I have barely been together, yet so many things have been thrown our way. But everything happens for a reason, right? I leaped ahead to get closer to my mom. I slightly pushed Canada to get near her. She quickly noticed and pushed her head against mine. It was almost like I could hear her telling me I had nothing to worry about, that I'll heal, I'm safe. She had said nothing, but her touch was quick to calm me down. I didn't even get the worst of it in the fight, yet I feel like I'm freaking out the most. I stay still and turn my head to look back at Russia. I wonder how he's doing. Why didn't I ask? This is a lot to take in. I leaped back to him. Are you okay? I asked, putting a concerned look on my face. I don't know, really. I'm feeling a lot of things right now. But I think I'll make it through. I looked into his eyes, my vision starting to trail off towards his side. Oh my god, how didn't I notice this? Russ, you have a huge cut here. Why didn't you put any leaves on it? I said in a loud, concerned voice. Oh, it's nothing. It doesn't hurt. Yeah, and you said the same thing about your paw when you first heard it. I stopped in my tracks, causing Russia to as well. I noticed a rough scratch on his shoulder and licked it to help the healing process. He smiled slightly and then moved his body, causing me to look at him. He sits down and starts to lick the wound at his side. Are you two coming up? I hear Ukraine say from up ahead, causing my dad and Canada to look back. Yeah, just give us a second, I reply. Ukraine nods and they all continue to walk. I look at Russ and he stands back up again. He puts his head against mine, making me feel warm and fuzzy. I blushed a bit, feeling a bit better than before. Is your mom doing better? He asked. I looked up in the direction she was walking and saw her talking to my dad. Yeah, she's gonna be alright, and so will I. No one's point of view. The group of cats walked across the trail together for what felt like forever. It had only been a few hours, but with the pace France was walking at, it seemed a lot slower. They took multiple breaks to rest and clean up more battle wounds. Russia was able to keep the scratches on the side of his back from bleeding again. They had stayed in a damp area uphill to hunt and find food for the rest of the journey while they were doing so. After eating, more time was taken out for a short sleeping period to gain the energy they knew they needed. America and Canada made sure to bring back plenty of food for the rest of the travel. They decided to pick up the pace after the extra hunting and make their way through the tangled trees. The sunrise had been coming out by then and shined in their faces. After heading up the muddy trail, they knew home was even closer than expected. America was soon able to tell where they were and raced to the smell of where home was. He passed the river that they had once hunted at. He admired the way the sun had risen and reflected off the water. The sun hit his coat, allowing a warm feeling to spark within him. The thoughts that had rushed through his mind were put away for a moment to feel the joy and warmth of a loving home. Russia followed behind quickly as they entered the clearing full of dens. A beloved home they called theirs.
Chapter 22. This is meant to be.
Russia's point of view. I walk behind America, feeling half dead. My body hurts and aches everywhere. We haven't been able to sit down and fully rest for a while. I look behind me and see everyone struggling as well. Soon, the forceps of America start to fade, causing me to look forward. I see him running. We must be close, or maybe even there now. I follow quickly after him, using all of the energy I have left in my body. We pass the running river I had been on the other side of before. We're here now, I know it. Not too long after, we leap into a clearing full of nothing but dens. The wind lightly blows the grass in the surrounding area. I watch as America leaps into one den that I suppose is his. I follow after him into the den. I watch as he plops down onto the ground and rolls around before plopping back up onto all fours. I let out a light laugh from his kitten-like behavior.
I can't believe it! We made it, Russia! We're back! We're home!
He said, full of excitement. He looked so tired, so hurt, yet somehow managed to pull out a big smile. He walked over to me and rubbed his head against mine. I smiled and let out a loud purr. Through his weak and sleepy eyes, I could see a sense of joy and love. He purred back and moved his head to my chest. We both sat down and just cuddled against each other, not focusing on anything else. I felt my face begin to turn a light red with a warm sensation. This felt nice. It felt safe. Like nothing could hurt us. Not right now. Not in this moment. I felt him pull away from me slowly. I looked down at him, a little disappointed. He smiled and stood up, giving us both contact at eye level. I'm going to go check on my mom. She needs to rest, he said and began to head out. I quickly ran in front of him. She will. Everyone needs to, I replied and turned my head around. I noticed that France and UK were gone, so I assumed they went into one of the dens. I could see my sister's tail making her way into another den with Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. Ukraine is probably in there too. I looked back at America and noticed he was lying down with his glasses put to the side of him. His eyes slowly began to close. Wow, he didn't hesitate after hearing that. I smiled at him and took off my hat, placing it next to his glasses. I curled in a ball next to him on the soft, grassy bedding. A smile appeared on his face, making me happy. I looked at him one last time before finally letting my eyes rest. America's point of view. My eyes slowly began to open. I blinked a couple times and then began to sit up. I turned my head and noticed Russia was no longer next to me. I yawned and looked up. Oh God, it's sunset? It was just sunrise. How long did I sleep for? Oh well, I guess. I heard voices of familiar cats come from outside. The figures seemed to be sitting in a circle together. I licked my paw and rubbed my face. I got up slowly due to pain in my lower back. With a quick head turn, I was able to see the claw marks that had been on me. They looked a lot better than before, not too deep, thankfully. They should heal in a few days. I looked to my left for my glasses and noticed Russia's Ushanka. Maybe I'll wear this instead. It couldn't hurt. I put on the hat and right away noticed it was too big. It was covering my eyes, kind of, but whatever. It was kind of cozy. I giggled to myself and turned forward and walked out of the den towards the figures that soon became clearer to see. It was my friends and family. I saw Russia flick his ears and look at me, so I walked over to sit by him. Good afternoon, I heard Ozzy say. Afternoon? It's sunset. What time did you all wake up? Not too long before you, Canada replied. He had been sitting on the other side of me. I didn't even hear you come into the den. That's because I didn't. I stayed with our brothers, and Ukraine and Belarus. I thought you'd like a little alone time, he said quietly. I rolled my eyes while smiling. I leaned my head on Russia. What'd I miss? I asked. Not much. Russia explained a little more about his friendship with China, and so did your mom, Ukraine replied. I looked at my mom and noticed her nod in agreement. In the corner of my eyes, I could see my father looking at me and Russia. I hadn't really said anything about me and Russia except to Russia's siblings. There seemed to be almost no point in saying anything with all that we've been through. It just didn't seem to fit. But when I looked at my dad, I could see a smile appear on his face. My heart quickly became filled with joy. He didn't say anything, nor did he have to, but I could tell he was just okay with this. Russia had a good connection with my mother already. Maybe he can gain one with my father, too. May, there is a pile of food, if you would like any. Me and Canada caught it, Ukraine pointed out, causing my thoughts to quickly disappear. Thank you, I replied and walked around him and Russia to pick out a small mouse from the pile. So, Belarus, you said that you knew the way back uphill when you found Russia in America. Do you live down there? My mother asked. I sat back down to listen. No, actually, but I have hunted down there with my father so long ago. Speaking about being down there, what happened with the other troops that were sent out to help search? Her eyes traveled towards my dad. They will be back in 2 days. That's how much time is left before the patrol shift is over. Some cats are in different areas, and there are different rules for the location of search, he stated. Belarus nodded her head in acknowledgement. They all continued to carry on a conversation as I ate my mouse. When I finished, I licked at my paws, and Russia rubbed the side of his face against mine. Nice look, he said. Thanks, I replied, smiling. I turned my head and noticed Ukraine standing next to Canada. Are you ready? I heard Ukraine say. His voice was a bit muffled by the conversation going on between the others. I watched as my brother got up and the two started to walk off. Hey, where are you two going? I asked, causing Russia to turn his head towards them. Oh, well, there's this one spot I wanted to show Ukraine. It's good for hunting, and it looks really pretty at sunset, Canada said. Just by those words, I already knew the location he was talking about. I smiled. All right, but be back before midnight, I said. He smiled back, and the two leaped off together. May, there are cuts on your back, Russia told me. Yeah, I know. They should heal soon. They're not bleeding anymore, thankfully. I should have cleaned them in the stream. Do you want to go clean up at the river? Yeah, sure, I replied, and looked back at my family once more. They had all been talking with Belarus and each other. My mother seemed to be doing a bit better. She had no longer been sitting, but lying down. Her wounds looked way better than before, but they should be cleaned often. I'm gonna bring back some water for her, I told Russia. All right. We'll do that last, if that is okay with you. I nodded and led the way to the river. The current had been softer and slower than previously. Russia helped me put water on my lower back and then continued to clean his own paws and face. Perfect. I put my paw in the water and splashed it towards him. He moved back, with the splash hitting him. I laughed in reply. Oh, that's funny, huh? He replied playfully and put his whole arm in the water. I moved back, but the wave of water was huge and drenched my side. Hey! I yelled and pounced at him, pinning him to the ground. This is your hat, you're getting wet, you know. I know. He smirked and let out a soft purr. I smiled and touched noses with him. This felt nice. Just being around him was nice. I want to stay here all night with him and look at the stars. I know I can't, at least not yet. Come on, let's go find a leaf, I said quietly and got off of him. He got up and leaped in front of me. Okay, he replied, smiling as he turned his head. Russia's point of view. I watched as America ran to catch up with me and walked by my side. We walked a bit before jumping in a few trees to find the right leaf. After multiple attempts, America found a leaf that seemed almost perfect. It was big enough to hold a good portion of water. This is perfect, he claimed. I nodded, and we ran back to the river. Here, let me hold one end and you hold the other. All right, he agreed. We held the leaf and carefully lowered it into the water, bringing it back up. The leaf was able to balance and keep the water. We carefully brought it back slowly in hopes to not spill it. When we came back, we saw UK and France heading into their den. UK ran over and helped us carry it back. I watched as he carefully applied the water to the healing wound on her belly. You two really didn't have to do this. I could have gone to the stream myself, really, she said calmly. I don't want you to move around, Mom. This wound is serious. It could easily start bleeding again, I heard America say. Thank you, both of you, she replied. I bowed my head in response and put the empty leaf down. We appreciate it, UK said. France slowly got up and looked behind my ear for comfort and did the same to America. Canada and Ukraine are still out. We'll be up for a while if you need us, she told me. Thank you, I replied. America and I turned around and walked towards the den we had slept in earlier. I laid down and watched as America did the same. I took my hat off of him and put it to the side near his glasses. He rested his head on his paws and stared into the bright moon. It was obvious he wanted to stay up longer. He still had energy. But the wounds we had needed rest to be healed. Tomorrow, let's go fish in the river. It will be a lot easier on your back than running for mice and birds, I suggested. That's a good idea, he replied and looked back to the sky. I slowly intertwined my tail into his and looked into the moon as well. This is it. This is where I'm meant to be. I know it. I really do. 8 years later. America's point of view. Are you ready? I heard Russia ask from behind me. Yeah, come on, let's go, I said, and picked up the flowers that we had gathered earlier that sunny evening. We headed down towards the rocky road that was once a flowing stream. I placed down the flowers over my once beloved friend, the very place he had passed at. Russia sat next to me and placed his fair share of white daisies next to my gathering of yellow tulips. I was wrong about you, China. I said you were not my friend, not our friend. But that's not true. We both know it. We were great friends. We did almost everything together, and I will cherish all of those moments. Every single one. But now, I have to let you go, I said calmly, with my eyes closed. I slowly opened them, only to see Russia looking at me. He turned his head back towards the sky. I won't forget you. Never. I won't forget how many times I was mad at you, and I won't forget how much I cared for you. Thank you. You showed me friendship. I am sorry for all that I ruined. I hope one day you can forgive me. Maybe you won't, maybe you will. But I will forgive you. I forgive you for it all, he said quietly, and then looked back at his paws. I put one of my paws on top of his and smiled. Thank you for doing this with me, I said quietly. He smiled in response. We sat there together for 20 minutes, letting all of our feelings run through. All the anger, all the sadness and joy hit and left our bodies. I stood up and walked away. Russia followed in my paw steps, and not too long after appeared at my side. We had made a new den for us down under the mountains we had once lived on top of. In the spring, little yellow flowers grew all around the area. They were my favorite. As time went on, many things changed. New job opportunities were open for many countries, although some things stayed the same. My father and mother still lived up above in their home, filling it with more love every day. Canada and Ukraine now work as patrols for countries in need of help to find those who are lost. Ozzy works on a water team and helps those who are in floods and struggle with terrible water crises. And New Zealand helps those who are struggling with food shortages hunt. Winters especially. Belarus teaches younger kittens how to hunt. They're nice hunting sessions, if you ask me. Some of these jobs didn't even exist, but countries came around to organize them. Sometimes I like to go back uphill and give swimming lessons to those who struggle with it. Plus, I get to visit my parents again, and occasionally my brothers. Russia actually gives tours to those who plan on moving down here. He protects certain parts of this forest and has made sure to keep everything in check. He caters for the land and cats down here. We have some neighbors now, actually. Finland and Estonia live close, and so does Japan. We go and visit friends and family whenever we are able to. It's nice to see everyone again. But me and Russia are happy where we are. Sometimes it's hard for me to believe how it all played out like this. I've gone on some wild rides and adventures here and there in the past 8 years, but nothing like I used to. Guess I'll have to wait and see where I go next. I know I'll be okay no matter what it is, though. I've been through a lot and have seen a lot, but hey, I'm still here. I'm pretty sure this is where I'm meant to be. And that brings a close to One Way Out. I hope you enjoyed this story as much as I have. That being said, up next is Rival Schools by Cake with 2 underscores and several E's. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. And it's all done. I I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.